Right, ladies and gents, and welcome back to the second live stream for BattleTech on YouTube. How are you all going today? Got a few people in the chat already. All systems nominal. Yep, I just had to step away for a drink. I set the stream up, and normally I would have that organized, and I didn't this time. I'm probably going to be here for at least a couple of hours, so probably an idea. Stay hydrated. Hey, got the notification for this one, unlike the meeting I had this morning. I'm glad you got the notification this time. I did notice the Discord bot. Last time it notified everybody before the stream was ready to roll. This time it notified everybody on time, but it actually double pinged the Discord server and sent out two completely different messages in regards to the stream. So, shoot the goddamn bot. Seriously, shoot the bot. Got COVID yesterday, so working from home today. Oh, that sucks, dude. Yeah, look, as I said, I had it not that long ago, managed to shake it off. Biggest thing, just rest. Don't overwork yourself, and drink a lot of water. Treat it like just a really nasty flu, and make sure you got some standard off-the-shelf painkillers, some Nurofen or some Panadol on hand, and you should be all good. Obviously, if you start getting any kind of side effects or anything else that, hard breathing or anything else is messing up, go see a doc as well. But for the most part, some decent painkillers and a lot of water should be fine. Anyways, so haven't had a lot of stuff up on the channel. Just wanted to give everybody a quick update to start this off. Obviously, I missed Cold Waters this week, which is unusual. It's normally on every Tuesday or Monday or Tuesday. I actually re-injured my back again. It was just coming good, and then I went and twisted the wrong way, and I fucked it again. Not as bad as last time, thankfully, but that hasn't been great, and I had a fairly large project came in that I had to deal with outside of it. So I have got 2 Cold Waters videos that have already been recorded. They are in the editing software at the moment. I'm planning on trying to have one of them up tomorrow. The other one will be released probably on Monday, so I should be able to make up for that. But yeah, sorry guys, I haven't really had a lot of time to actually get much in the way of video stuff done. So yeah, and that's really all there is there. What is going on with that? That is a bit. Just getting my chat sorted out here so I can read everything nice and clearly. That should be good enough. Okay, cool. Now, the last time we streamed, we had just completed a mission, what we expected to be the second last mission here on Ronal. We're in Federated Suns territory at the moment, so everybody is still fatigued. Firestarter's got a day out of repairs. We've got the improved power conduits under construction, and we're 12 days out of financial report. So I'm just going to skip through the next 6 days while everyone recovers.
Done, Commander.
Yep, that's the Firestarter repaired. Alliance so far. The Federated Suns, your service on behalf has been exemplary. Commander, my government wishes to convey their gratitude. Perhaps we should familiarize the bonds between us with an alliance. You can view the faction reputation in the captain's quarters. Okay, that's apparently the Federated Suns have been pretty happy with what we're up to, which is good, because that means they're going to pay us more and start offering us better missions. Okay, so this is a part of the BEX mod. It's not part of vanilla BattleTech. You can build up reputations with the Great Houses, and the ultimate form of this is when you become essentially exalted with one of the factions. They will let you buy brand new mechs out of one of the few mech factories that they have operational in their territory, and you'll be able to buy brand new top-of-the-line versions of whatever the most common mechs are to whatever house. And you'll get them at a reasonable price as well. So let's just check reputation here. So we can ally with the Federated Suns if we want to. Here's the thing I don't know about BEX mod. I don't know if I can ally with multiple factions. I don't think I can. So if we ally with the Federated Suns, that's going to take other options off the table later. So I think we're going to leave that for the moment, but we know the option is there, and we can do that at any point we wish. Up late, like me? Well, it's not that late on my end. It's only 12:30, you know, in comparison to the last stream where it was nearly 2 in the morning when I fired it up. But, yeah, I generally tend to run late. I shouldn't, but I do. Right, so our next contract, there was only one left, and I wanted to do this one before we left, because whatever mission we complete next is going to take us... It's going to take us longer than 14 days. So we've got this one here, Brilliant Minds. It's a mission for the Federated Suns, Urban Recovery Mission. Not my favourite type of mission, but it's only a single skull, and it might serve as a decent training mission for some of our newer mech warriors. So I can run a slightly less capable team in decent mechs, and we can make a bit of money out of this. So, low gravity mission, it's an urban environment commander. We perform a substantial amount of scientific research here in Ronal. Korean forces have been sabotaging our research stations, stretching our defences thin. We've just learned their ultimate target is a key scientist in our weapons development program. They've launched an assault that we believe is intended to capture her. We need you to reach the facility where she's stationed and extract her safely. So this is, we run in, we collect everything, we collect her from the operations point, and then we retreat out of the zone. So fast movers will be the primary goal. We are not going to be looking to shoot too many, but I think I'll take 130 over 1.6. Yeah, just in case. Yeah, just in case we get a mech pop in that we have 3 parts for already. It's not going to be something that we are. Not something that we're going to be looking to use ourselves, but I've got a couple of low-level mechs, you know, sub 40 tons, that I've got a couple of parts for, and we can sell them off as soon as we put them together. So we'll take 130, go 1.6. The Shadowhawk, the Wolverine, the Firestarter, and the Lead Spitter. We really need to get around to renaming some of these. Alright, so... Claymore can still ride out in the Shadowhawk, so I've got at least 1 gun pilot. Now, Phantom here. We'll stick Phantom in the Lead Spitter. And we'll stick Beach Ball, who is desperately in the need of a rename, in the Firestarter. Yeah, because Beach Ball's being set up as a scout pilot, so actually running in a lighter mech is not going to necessarily be a bad thing. And Phantom also has sure footing, which is going to work really well with the 2 light mechs. So that gets those 2 rotating through and starting to earn some points. We'll leave Cerberus in to continue learning, and we'll leave Claymore in, so that will work. Nice to catch one live. She's doing Mags in chat. Hopefully I can actually see the entirety of chat. Yes. Cool. Chat is a little awkward to organize on YouTube, I'm noticing. Cool. Thanks for the advice. Luckily I'm young and fit, so it feels like a strong cold at the moment. Yeah, it got to a moderate flu with a bad hangover. That was about the combination mine hit at. So yeah, just water, rest, painkillers, standard stuff. Yeah, and you should get fine. The early versions knocked people around a lot, but if you're catching it now, it's likely one of the current variants, which have fairly significantly tapered off in terms of their nastiness. You know, viruses just doing what they do. How late is in an upside down land at the moment? As I said before, it is 12:30 at the moment, so past midnight.
Command interface initiated.
But will it really be a single skull mission? Well, that is a really good question, McGregor. I have absolutely no idea. It's highly likely they'll throw a wrench in the works, although this is the Federated Suns, so they've been pretty good with these type of missions. But what we will be looking to do regardless is pick up the target and then get out. There's going to be very little here that's worth our time to actually destroy. There's the pickup zone, and that's part of the reason why it's good for us to have the fire starters, because we can use the Shadowhawk and the Wolverine to lay down covering fire, pick up the objective in one of the fire starters, and then have the fire starters bug out. Once she's aboard, head to the marked evac zone, which will be on the far side of the map, because of course it will be.
Okay,
so yeah, that's going to be the play for this one, is going to be hit the objective, and then just bug out. We're not going to hang around, not going to waste time with it. We want the money. If we can come across a mech, well, there's likely going to be at least one mech we'll come across. We'll just gank the shit out of it, destroy it, and keep moving. Yep, we haven't got a choice. One of them's already on the target zone, so that one has to be taken out. Which part of Upside Down land? Stuck down in Victoria at the moment, so it is freezing cold, and my nuts feel like they are turning solid, but thankfully winter doesn't last too long. It's been a real bitter cold this winter. It's even more than usual. It hasn't been so much of a lower temperature than it normally gets. It normally gets down to about 0 at this time of year, and that's what it's been doing. But it's been a real bitter cold. Like, it's just, yeah, it's not nice.
Affirmative, Commander.
And I know there's some people in the Northern Hemisphere that are used to seeing snow that are laughing at me, but yeah, come and laugh at me while I'm sitting there, you know, drinking a martini and relaxing while it's, 45 degrees outside and you guys are dying of heat stroke. I'm built for a different temperature. I don't like anywhere near 0. 0 is bad. Anything below 0 is worse. I have not seen snow in my adult life. At some point I will, but it'll be more just to finally, sate my curiosity, and then I'll be going somewhere where it's warm again. I enjoy my Christmas times in thongs and a singlet, drinking a beer in the pool. It's great. Ooh, and we have a Locust. Hello there. And well, that was interesting. Multiple drops on location as soon as we showed up. Clever, clever, clever. Alright, so let's gank the shit out of this Locust straight away and just get rid of it. Probably attack from here for the first, because that'll put the buildings in for cover. So melee attacks with fire starters. And a nice opener from Beach Ball. Not bad for a scout.
But that hurt.
Wait, what? I thought anything below 20 was considered cold in Aussie land. If you got up near the into NT or Queensland, absolutely. Down in Victoria, look, anything below 10, I'm not a huge fan of. Anything below 20 is just nice.
Skipper.
I prefer. He just bailed out of there. Best bet. We're going to use... We're actually going to charge... No, there's going to be too many guns. They'll get through. Yeah, I tend to prefer temps around mid-spring. We're talking high 20s to low mid-30s. It's nice. It's just really nice weather. You can get out, you can do everything. It's not oppressive. I'm not a fan. Like, I don't have an issue at 45 degrees. I'm not a fan of it.
Copy that,
but,
Commander.
I'll just grab a cold drink and chill. 50 is a bit excessive. 50 does get a bit rough. What does an Australia consider as freezing cold? Well, freezing. Funnily enough, 0. Anything below 0 would be below freezing cold. It's almost like we're tuned to the metric system correctly. Alright, so we have a Panther on top of a building that's right near our objective zone. So what I'm thinking... we just remove the building.
Engaging target. Target building destroyed.
Yeah, it doesn't always happen every year, but we have had it hit 50 in this area a couple of times. Hasn't been the last couple of years. It's usually 48, 49, so close enough, but not quite there. But we've hit 50 once or twice. It's not nice. That's where even the air conditioners and the cold drinks stop working. I think when we were in school, we had a ruling. If the temperature broke 45, which it did at least one day of every single year, that was an immediate, everybody pack up your shit, you're going home. Like, the school just shut off. Most workplaces did as well.
Copy that. Firing Alpha Strike.
So much for avoiding all of these mechs. They're not giving us a choice here. We got a triple set of Panthers and this Locust as a scout. And that's a nasty combination too, because that's triple PPCs. It's still technically a one-skull mission. These aren't heavy mechs by any stretch of the imagination. It's just a nasty triplet there. A 9R. Yeah, it's a 9R. The logo's in the way there, but yeah, it looks like triple 9Rs. Yeah, triple 9Rs. So that's medium laser, small laser, I think, and a PPC.
Commander?
And not something that I really want to be shirt fronting against a, not something I really want to be shirt fronting with a fire starter. Like, the evasion of the fire starter is good, but if they actually manage to get through the pips and land, the PPC will just blow a hole straight through our fire starters. We could, actually, we could probably tank one or two, probably one in the arms before we lose the arm. Maybe one or two to the chest before it goes internal, but not much. They could cripple or destroy a mech in a single turn if they all focus fired on it. And that's taking the Locust out of the equation. But the Locust I don't think is too much of a threat, if I'm perfectly honest at this point. I think it's... that initial attack kind of really gave it a bad day. What other options have we got here? Both the fire starters are jump jet equipped. Yeah, okay. What we're gonna do...
Lifting off.
we'll send the fire starters directly around the back. Yeah, the Shadowhawk and the Wolverine will be able to tank a couple more of these shots.
Minimal.
We'll get the fire starters around the rear, jump them through.
Confirmed.
Have to get a little bit evasive with the
Acknowledged.
That's a big jump. Not complaining though, that's going to be a useful one. Going to get a little evasive with these two over here to keep their attention. And then jump the fire starters into the back and then double ream one of the Panthers from behind.
Damage looks light.
I live in
Commander.
Germany. The last couple of years have been way too warm. I would say anything below -10. Anything else is easily compensated by clothes. Yeah, spend your entire life in an environment where 45 degrees Celsius hits every single year. You know, and occasionally 50, which half boiling point for water. -10 is... no. There is no amount of clothes that compensates for -10. It shows not everybody's built the same way. I do love when we've had people come over from Germany, especially when I was living back on the farm, and they come to stay, and it was always great when they'd come directly from Germany in winter, and flown direct, and we would pick them up at the airport because they would, of course, arrive in Australia in midsummer, and the plane is air-conditioned and comfortable the whole way, and the airport is air-conditioned and comfortable the whole way, and you just get a dirty, nasty grin on your face as you're walking towards the exit doors for the airport, and the doors, you know, the automatic doors automatically slide open, and for the first time, this person who has just come from a place where it is snowing and well below zero, who has been in air conditioning for the last probably near 48 hours, if not more, with no exposure to any kind of temperature, walks directly into Australian 45-degree heat. And it's like watching somebody hit an invisible wall. It is fucking amazing. Cruel, but amazing.
You say so.
The small moment of horror on their face as the realization that this is the next 6 months of their life at the minimum. Classic pincer. Yep, that is the idea. Get into the rear armor of those. Get into the rear armor of those. Got the mech name for a second. They're Panthers, and gut them, or at the very least separate them. Because if we're hitting them from both sides, they have to turn in one direction or another. They don't have a choice.
Waiting for orders.
But we're going to sprint and stay as low as we can against the wall here. So this will keep our evasion pips as high as we possibly can on both fire starters. And next turn we'll be able to jump straight into the rear. We'll pick which one is going to be most dangerous. Rip it apart from behind.
Help, I'm getting flanked.
That sounded like something fell off one of my mechs.
What are your
That's
orders,
not what I'm after. Oh, for God's sakes, bots. Alright, so they're splitting up. One of the Panthers has come down here to play with our two heavies. Or our two mediums, rather. Alright, so which one?
Yes, Commander.
Cerberus. Cerberus's rear armor got opened up. That's what happened. Alright. That's actually a problem. That is actually a problem. Can we still get a foot? No.
I'm there.
We have to get rid of this locust.
Affirmative.
It's just too evasive. Average temps more than 40 would be reason to consider moving abroad for me. Man, you get used to it. You know, everybody who's from the north says that. Oh, it's terrible. I would move. I'd go somewhere else. I'd do that. You grow up and you're just used to it. As I said, it's for me, it's the opposite. Like, I would love to go up and have a white Christmas. A Christmas where it's actually cold, snowing, you know, logs on the fire and all that kind of bullshit. You know, we see it every single year. Every single Christmas movie is based in either Europe, you know, Britain, the United States. Every single one of them. So that's every single Christmas movie you get. We don't get snow in December. We're watching a movie where you guys are getting snowed on before Christmas while we're sitting by the pool. Gotta deal with this.
Physical attack.
Come on, thank you! Thank you! Alright. God, locusts can be annoying.
Enemy mech destroyed.
So yeah, I'd like to see it, but it's not something that would be particularly comfortable for a long period of time. I'm used to being in the warmth. The body just adapts to its environment. I mean, I could probably get used to it after enough time, but the truth of the matter is, would I really want to?
Acknowledged.
Alright, so we've got this fire starter here, this panther here rather, and it is going to be our
10-4.
victim. The Wolverine's taken a pounding, but as long as it's taken the hits in the front armor at the moment, because most of the damage is taken is in the rear, so I've just got to keep everything in front of us. So, second fire starter up and over, same deal again.
Roger
Dump
that,
into
Commander.
the back of this panther.
Firing.
Not quite as effective as I was hoping. I was hoping for a big crit then. Speaking of temperatures, a reminder of that one time I was in graduation in a full suit, 50 degrees C and no shade. Okay, that is just cruel.
Something
That's cruel.
important.
You know, at 50 degrees C, even office workers start peeling off all that kind of stuff, and like nobody cares. That's if they're actually in the office. As I said, most times that's we go home now. Best way to deal with this. Panthers jump to the rear there. Yeah, we're gonna have to get the Shadowhawk front and center and start dealing some damage.
All weapons committed. Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
Right here.
Ooh, Cerberus took a hit to the head. Hopefully we don't get too many more of
Moving
those.
to position. Copy that. Firing out strike.
Alright, now we're starting to rip
That
into
looks
these guys.
like a critical hit. Commander?
Alright, so this time we're going to go side attack melee. Okay, one evasion pip gone. In with the MGs. Come on, crit the arm. Damn it. Yeah, they're still focusing the Wolverine. It's not going to take too many more of those.
Skipper.
Right, Phantom. No, we're not going to do a melee. We don't need to do a melee with you. What I am going to do... I want to hit that side. Alright, it's risky. They could shoot the building out from underneath me, but I want to hit this side again, because this side's got the PPC.
Here we go.
Come on. There we go. PPC destroyed. Alright, so that's one of the Panthers
hit.
disarmed. Or at least its big threat weapon removed. It's still dangerous, but it's not going to be doing shit like that.
Oh boy, heavy hit there. My armor's getting blown apart.
Yep.
Standing by.
I gotta get Cerberus out of line of sight, although... You're alright. Right torso's okay. Left torso's down to 8 armor. We're down to 37 armor on the front. It's the head that's a major issue. All armor's gone. Structure hasn't been... So the armor's been blown off, but the structure hasn't been touched. But a direct hit to the head armor will be fatal. And we need at least 2 evasion pips and out to extreme range.
Targeting 4 and upper strike.
Alright, now... I reckon best option here with the Shadowhawk is just to make sure everyone's guns are on it and go front and center and punch this one straight in the face. The evasion's high enough that chances of us hitting with the other weapons is not great.
Engaging physical attack.
Right torso destroyed. And that gives them somebody else to focus on. The Shadowhawk's still got nearly full armor.
Waiting for orders.
Alright, beach ball. Really want to get you... Yeah, still going to have... If we jump to there, we get 5 evasion pips to there, which will give the other 2 a hard time to be able to actually strike her. And just unload with the MGs. Hip destroyed, jump jets destroyed.
That hit something good.
I'm aware the original plan was just to grab the target and run,
Warning.
but these being Panthers,
Ready to
we
rock.
really don't want to give our rears to the rear armor to the PPCs and these things. That will not go the way we want it to go.
All weapons, go.
Right, 2 down.
I need a new target.
This was a nasty trap, this one.
Damage minimal.
While still technically being just a 1-skull mission. They are all the appropriate weights for a 1-skull mission. Just possibly the nastiest mechs you could potentially have that fit that category. And they didn't move, which is great news for us. It means they have no evasion whatsoever. So let's...
All weapons committed.
start introducing ourselves to the center torsos.
Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
Right here.
Alright, Cerberus out wide.
Roger that.
And take the risks now. Right torso destroyed.
Critical hit, Commander. Commander?
Alright, beach ball. How's our temperatures? Temperatures are good, so we're actually going to use a jumping attack. The main reason I'm using the jumping attack is we can keep aiming towards the targets, and the jump will actually get us the maximum evasion pips. It will affect our accuracy a little bit, but we're hitting with that many weapons that it just doesn't matter.
Critical.
He's out. One left to go. Ooh, choosing to go melee. And you still had heat to work with as well, so you could have shot with the PPC. That's not a
What are
great
your orders,
move.
Skipper?
Let's go rear attack with Phantom. That'll strip the evasion
rolling.
markers off of... There we go. Evasion gone. Open up the rear with the MGs. Foot destroyed, hip destroyed, and we're going to probably
Critical
just
hit.
melee this one down.
Yes, Commander.
With no evasion
You
to
say
deal
so.
with, Cerberus should have a clean shot.
Okay, firing everything. Critical hit, Commander.
Not even going to bother moving the Phoenix Hawk, just... unload into
Enemy
it on the
mech.
ground.
Critical damage detected.
Standing by. Rolling. Mech destroyed.
Right. Well. That's that dealt with. You're in the area, hold position to get the science safely into a mech. Start getting the fire starters scouting up ahead just to make sure nothing else is deploying
Coordinates
further up.
received.
And the Wolverine on its way. I'm sure we keep one sensor trace going right, so we know if anything spawns in over
The
here.
asset is in hand, Commander. Good
Right,
work.
there we are. Mission complete. Alright, sneaky bastards. But we got them. Looks like the Wolverine's going to need to be bolted back together, but nothing actually penetrated the cockpit, so I don't think we took any injuries there. So payout 61,000, not great after drop expenditures and the rest, so this isn't actually going to have made us much money at all. No internal damage and no injuries, so that is fine. Okay, that could have been worse. And we get to pick our one. In hindsight, we should have gone full salvage on this one, and we would have been able to pick up the 3 Panther pieces along with the 4th one that we've already got in stock, and we could have sold a 35-ton Panther to offset the cost. At this rate, the Locust will bring us up to 3, and then we can just roll. Or like, no, I'll take 1 Panther piece and we'll roll on the other 2. Let's see what happens. Oh, we got 1, so we're on 3 Locust and 3 Panther. We picked up one of the PPCs, SRM4. Okay, that's not too bad. The next time we run into a Panther or a Locust, we've got a mech to sell. So, 2.6 million. Alright, so now I can actually catch back up on chat. Sorry, I got a little bit complex there in the end. I wanted to make sure I kept that Wolverine up and standing. So I'll be able to quickly scroll through and see what I missed in chat. You get used to it every year. Here we have average temps reaching -20 to +40. That is a big variance. Depending on which area of Germany and how fucked up the climate gets this year. Try to avoid moving to the southern US. I'm a Norwegian, and for the record, it was bloody hot and kind of funny how everyone took off almost everything the instant they could, and I just shrugged and get a cold drink and went under a tree. Well, now you know what it's like to live in Australia at summertime. I mean, it's not uncommon in Australia to be wandering down the street in an area that is absolutely not near any major body of water and is not near a swimming pool, and in the middle of summer have, you know, women walking down the street in bikinis. Because it's hot. That's just a thing. It's pretty normal like that here. You know, blokes in shorts and, you know, usually a shirt on, singlets, thongs, the flip-flop kind, not the... Although that's probably a thing too. Yes, they generally don't show that unless you're down the beach. Yeah, most of the time, if you want to deal with the extreme heat, that's all you really need to do. Find a nice tree that's got some good shade, grab a cold drink, and sit back underneath it. It's perfect time. It's why I've got a hammock that sits outside. I've got a big olive tree in my backyard, and it's nice and it's leafy green all the time, and it's beautiful in summertime. And I've got a metal frame hammock that sits underneath it, and that's what it's there for. I grab my phone, pair of earbuds, load up an audio book once it hits about 45 degrees, and I go, fuck it, I'm not working in the office anymore, I'm calling it quits here. Go out, jump in the hammock, cold drink, put on an audio book, usually fall asleep. It's not that hard to deal with. Humidity can be a bit nuts, but that's it. British Dragon VR Simulations, it's your boy Mags. Yes, it is. No VR tonight, though. I really do need to actually try and do some VR stuff again soon. Although I've still got to watch it with my eyes. I still don't have the new contacts yet, and there is going to be a delay before I can get them, so yeah, doing even VR at the moment is a bit of a pain. XCOM with mechs, pretty close. Virtual recreation of the BattleTech tabletop game. But yeah, XCOM with mechs works as well. The other thing I hate is bright sunlight. Got slightly light sensitive. Can't wrap my head around the fact that we had 15% brighter light in the industry. It was like 230 years ago. Yeah, that's one that I've got to deal with as well because of the eye condition that I've got, Curie. I'm extremely light sensitive. So I basically live in polarized sunglasses. If the sun's out, I'm in polarized sunglasses all the time. I have to. Otherwise, it's agony. I can't put the washing on the line outside without having sunnies on. It's East Germany for me. Watched the weather forecast the last couple of days. You know what kind of weather we had. Actually, haven't seen that end of the world, but I imagine, yeah, you guys are getting it fairly nasty hot up that end of the world as well. Shirtless dudes fixing their cars. Yeah, what's wrong with that? I've been one of the shirtless dudes fixing my car. That was the thing at one point. I don't anymore. The car's a little too new for that. I just take it to the mechanic. But when I had my old Statesman and my old Commodore, yeah, the Saturday with the bonnet up and the shirt tucked in the back of the shorts, but he leant over the bonnet of the car. That was a pretty normal Saturday when I was a teenager. Wait a minute, not a disaster on the first mission of the stream. What is this? Well, we are getting better mechs and we're actually getting some better crews, so it happens. Miracle, get staffed. I walked around in bikinis, okay. Whatever rocks your boat. It was a thing, it's a thing here. Hello from Brazil, Mags. Wow, hello, Davey. Alright, now I'm actually caught up. That's about all we've got to do here, I think. We technically can do this mission here, but it's for the Capellans, and every time I see a half-skull assassination mission from the Capellans, it turns into a shit show, and I really don't, yeah, I really don't want to. So we're not going to. We're going to move on. I will, actually, first things first, we'll get repairs started up
down here in the hole
on the Wolverine, because it's the only mech that needs them. It doesn't need anything replaced. And nothing went internal. It was all armor only, so only 900 C-bills. Just to replace the armor and just patch up the surface of the structure. So that's dirt cheap. That is perfectly fine. I can deal with that. We're at 2.141. Okay, yeah, that should be enough. We're going to drop in under 2 million again, but that's fine. Now, we are heading down. We're currently up near the core. We're actually not far from Earth or Terra here. But we want to actually start making our way back down the line here to see if we can get to St. Ives, which is... it's Warlock. It's in this area. What is that one? That's Succession. Expires in 93 days. We haven't really got the tonnage for that flashpoint. But St. Ives is coming up, and it is floating around just down here. I know it's here somewhere. Begas, St. Loris, Zinadad. St. Ives. There it is. There's St. Ives. I knew it was around here. Alright, so this whole section is actually going to break off and become its own state soon. So we want to be down in this area. So we're looking at the 1.5 skull range planets, because they'll have between 1 and 2.5 usually for missions. Now... travel times, 13 days to go to Tybalt. Battlefield, extensive volcanism, inner sphere level civilization. So that's not a bad option, but I'd like to get a little bit more travel on if we could. Got Convoy, which is only going to take us 16 days, 90,000 to make the travel. 24 days to get to Posen. 21 days. To 10. And I want to try and keep it in Davian space as much as we can. Florence. I'm pretty sure we did New Florence on the way up, so we might head back. At 16 days at 90,000, Convoy is a good option here. And it has all the right players in the field for what we're after. So we'll drop by here, see what's there. We should be a couple of missions just to make a little bit of bank, and then keep going down. And that'll get us, well, a third of the way, a quarter of the way down to St. Ives. So we'll set course.
Roger that, Commander. Course plotted.
Calculating escape velocity.
Yeah, my dad was always working on his Commodore. Everyone's always working on the Commodore.
Docking sequence.
Never trust a Capellan? Yes. Every single time we've had a mission that's gone real sideways, it's always been a mission for the Capellans.
done,
Every
Commander.
single time. Which I actually appreciate. The mod does a really good job of conveying what it's like to actually work for the Capellans. So, 2 million safety net should be fine with the mix you're running at the moment. Yeah, we're going to dip under it. I tend to want to get it a little bit higher. As I said, I'm looking usually for around 3. If I hit 3, I stop taking money for missions and I take exclusively salvage. And that's the point we start making up a lot of gains when it comes to weight. Unfortunately, at the moment, I've never hit that marker because we have one mission that goes sideways bad enough that all the cash goes. Capellan missions always seem to be good to be true, and they usually are. Alright, so improved power conduits is complete, and here's the financials. So, yeah, 364,000. We're going to leave this at standard. Our morale's actually doing okay at the moment at 21. We're steady. I would like to spend more money on this, but we just can't afford it at this point. So, 364 just to maintain through. To work in a modern car, you need a master in IT and hands of a Chinese miner. Alright, they're not that bad to work with. I have worked on modern cars at all. The major problem with working on a modern car is you really need something that can interface with the computer. Most of the time, these aren't too hard to come across, and if you're into tinkering with your car, you'll usually pick something up, something that can interface with the engine management computer, just so you can see what it's saying and also make some minor adjustments. Switching out a chip isn't that difficult to do. Most of it you can buy. It's almost plug and play. You can buy off eBay for most cars. And the rest of it underneath is pretty much the same as anything else. But it's just an annoyance. I mean, I've got as new as you can get a Lancer because they stopped making them. So I just take it to the mechanics. It saves me time. Although having said that, it's only for the services because it was mostly new. We'll check the store. It was very near new when we picked it up, and so it's still doing its all from new service history, and for its engine overlook. And it comes to things like changing the brakes and everything else. I do all that all myself. I've got the brake clamps and everything else sitting in the workshop, and I just go out, pop the wheels off, change all my brakes, change all the discs, pads, the works. It's everything except what's under the engine. It's just not worth my time. If I was more into tinkering and playing with the performance, and there is nothing here. If I was more into playing with the performance of my cars, like I was 15 or 20 years ago, I would have all the stuff to tinker with it. But yeah, with my eyes going a little bit sideways, I barely drive at night anymore, let alone drive anything that's drive too hard. So my interest in motorsport kind of waned as a result, funnily enough. You say you'd have to remove a lot of items to get what you need to work on. No, it's not that bad, unless it's one of the ones that has the big plastic turtle shell shield over the top of the engine, which they're annoying. But they're relatively easy to get through. The thing you just need to remember, most of your older cars were designed to access through the top of the bonnet. A lot of modern cars, they're designed to be worked on in a pit, so a lot of the components are designed to be accessible from underneath. If you've got a decent set of wheel ramps to get a car up on, they're easy to work on. You have to go at it from a different angle, that's all. Occasionally there's a couple of parts that are annoying, but you make a couple of specialist tools for those if you run into them commonly. Alright, so we have a payroll seizure, recovery. No, thank you. Battle, Martian, show the flag, Federated Suns. Mid-level Davian official has decided to personally patrol a moderately dangerous region of the planet. We've done our best to dissuade her, but she's insistent that she show her people she's willing to take risks on their behalf. Brave girl. Rather than let her stumble around in a family's ancestral griffin, or at least she's in something that's got armor. The last time I did one of those, I think they were in a commander. I was like, oh, God. Until some opportunistic pirate decides to murder her, we'd like you to escort her and keep her alive. Okay, well, we can do that one. That's a potential option. That is a potential option. And I don't mind doing anything for the Free Worlds League at the moment. House Marek, I definitely need to up my stats with, so long as they're not going against House Davian. Which is usually okay, because as a general rule, the Free Worlds League is going after pirates, or they're going after the Capellans, so I'm usually more than happy to. And this time, they look like they're going after the pirates. So it's a pirate battle, and we've got a nice 2-skull here, ambush convoy, and it's going after the Capellans. Nice. Okay, we might do that as, although it's a convoy ambush. It pays well, but I hate convoy ambush missions. And again, House Lao is conducting military exercises on a backwater world. This is an opportunity to covertly advance Davian interests in the region. Oh, this is a good planet. It's basically kick the shit out of pilots and kick the shit out of the Capellans. I like this. Yes, this is good. We'll skip the recovery mission. Let's do show the flag just as an opener. Max pay, 611, and we've got a 418 on a single skull. I have a funny feeling there's going to be reinforcements in this one. So, we're running at 686. We have 20 days. 686, 20 days. On a single skull, 210, 314. I'm going to take a risk on this one. I'm going to go 314 and only take 192. Although that's going to, with drop costs. Drop costs will eat nearly 100k at the moment on our current tonnage. Yeah, we'll go 210. We'll go 210, 330, and that should give us about 230 plus whatever bonuses we get when the support lance comes in that we have to annihilate. Because that's going to be a thing. Oh god, the VIP can't drive for shit. It's a Griffin, and the pilot skills are 1 gunnery, 2 piloting, 3 guts, 1 tactics. Oh, Jesus Christ. At least it's got 760 armor, so it can take a couple of hits before it falls over. Right. Let's switch out Firestarter for... Nope. Other one. That one. Firestarter for Lead Spitter. Claymore and Cerberus can take their roles in the Wolverine and the Shadowhawk once again, because we are working up their skills with those mechs. This mission will actually push Cerberus into comfortable, so she'll have a performance bonus. And Claymore, who is my pilot, is not listing his affiliate status with the Shadowhawk at all. Let's pull him out. Let's see if it'll get it to pop up here. Nope, Shadowhawk is bringing up a blank. Okay, that's interesting. Now, we might... We really need a better pilot. Four, 5, 4, 5. No. Beach Ball or Relentless? Beach Ball's got the better overall skills for this mission. 5 guts, 5 gunnery, 5 tactics, 5 piloting. It's not so much better than Beach Ball, but is better. But Beach Ball does have sensor scan. Yeah, I think sensor scan will be more useful. We'll stick with beach ball. We'll go with that. God, I've got to rename that pilot.
Met warriors, prepare for combat.
What a call sign. That's why I like semi-new cars here in Brazil. Cars that are 20 years old mostly don't have much in the way of embedded electronics. Yeah. If you buy an older machine, it's obviously much easier to work on. But it's the impossibility of working on modern cars is often overstated. It does require a little bit more in the way of a computer skill, but it's not that complicated. As I said, providing you've switched out the ECU so you can modify it, or you've at least got something that can read the standard ECU so you can see what the error codes that it's giving you are actually saying, and you can see what sensors are giving what information. It's really by the numbers. I mean, if you make a modification, let's say you want to change... What would be a really good example? All right, let's say you got a standard manifold on a, let's say, a straight 6 Falcon, for example. So it's a straight 6 4-litre Falcon with a standard manifold, and you wanted to put extractors on it. So you pop the extractors off. Pretty simple to do. Take the turtle shell off the top of it, pop the extractors. I think it's the manifold. I think it's 8 bolts are holding them on. Put on your extractors. Do them up, that's it. But you're immediately going to get an error code on the dash. And the error code you're getting is because the oxygen sensor in the exhaust manifold will be reading incorrect numbers as to what it's expecting, because you're no longer running a manifold, you're running extractors. So at that point, you've got to change the sensor, or you've got to do an adjustment on the ECU to tell it that these numbers are now acceptable and know what the numbers are. And you can get what the numbers are off the internet. If you have to change the sensor is like $2 and takes 5 minutes to change over. Or if you've got the little handheld computer, the little black box that can read the numbers, you can punch in the adjustment on it like you would on a calculator, hit the button, it resets it, and that's it, you're done. It takes 5 minutes to do. The technical side is you need to know to do that. You actually need to know how to do that to begin with. If you have no idea that the sensor is what's reading the problem, no idea to understand what the error code is, that's where you run into your issues. If there's no fighting, got paid to stretch our legs and take in the sights. Hey XO, we got multiple blips here. It looks like a Capellan livery. In that case, Commander, weapons hot, keep the VIP alive. I'm listening, you know. Don't talk to me like I'm not even here. Why not? We're going to talk to you like you're not even there. When it's time to evac, Commander, pick you up here. Hey, can you even hear me? Is this thing on? How do I tell if my radio's working? Hello? Hello? Yeah, sounds about right. Thankfully, not all VIPs in the BattleTech universe are like that, but there are most certainly stories in the BattleTech universe where they're exactly like that.
Roger. Moving to position.
I actually just finished another
I'm
BattleTech book recently. E-book, audio book, of course. I'll just quickly pop it up here now, because I'm actually going to give this a bit of a recommendation for you guys as well. This is a really good story. I was much better than I was expecting. No, it's not Embers of War. I'm reading Embers of War at the moment. Well, what was it again? This one here. I hate when they don't bring up the Nellis Academy incident. It's actually a really interesting story. And only one battle mech shows up in it, and it doesn't show up until like the last 2 chapters. But it was a really cool little story. If you haven't checked that one out, I recommend you do. If you're interested in some of the expanded and greater lore to the BattleTech universe.
Rolling.
If you can buy ships with a shortage going on, Foxy, the chips are generally not that hard to come by. The shortage in chips tends to be in chips for new cars, which are getting more and more complex. Existing chips that are already produced for older models that are out of production, those chips are, you know, they're there. They might have jumped in price a little bit, possibly, but they're not difficult to find. Actually, probably should have done a sensor scan then. That was a mistake. I bought it for the sensor scan and then forgot to use the sensor scan. Long-range sniper backfire with the pilot that can't hit a barn from the inside. What could go wrong? It feels like every time I bring out the low-skill pilots.
Yep.
What's she got on this thing anyway? It's got an LRM-5. Well, let's see if we
I'll
can
do
make
what I
some
can.
use out of her. Let's turn off all the lasers.
Okay, I'm on it.
It's only an LRM-5,
Negative
but
damage.
it's kind of a little bit foolproof. Yeah, it feels like every time I bring out a low-skill pilot driving an urban mech, it's got a massive autocannon on the side of it. It's the selling point for the urban mech, and you've got a pilot that can't aim the bloody thing. Alright, and that locust is just in the wrong spot where everything I lob in its general direction is just going to be slightly out. I'm actually not going to fire the shot on the Shadowhawk. Beach ball, best ball, keep his name. I caught that on the previous streams. There were many polar worlds and mechs that didn't run hot. Flamers were not working. Yeah, oh, for the changeover to the fire starters. Yeah, we're running a lot of worlds where we're running, obviously, as just mentioned, polar worlds. Or against a lot of mechs that weren't heavy on energy. And the flamers just weren't doing the damage that needed to be done, and the heat generation that they were giving would just... it just wasn't worth it. So the alternate build on the Firestarter is you yank all the flamers out and you fit 6 machine guns, and you get them into point-blank range, melee, and then hit with the MGs, and you can strip 2 evasion points off a target and rip apart its internals. It's actually a really nasty build for dealing with light mechs. Anything under 40 tons. It's devastating on, because the MGs, stacked MGs alone, are enough to go straight through the armor.
Waiting for orders.
Alright, so let's go... like this, you're about to see the effect on this locust here in just a moment. Although it's going to have 2 evasion pips when I pull this one off. We still haven't got an ID on that one.
Acknowledge.
And so nothing falls off it on that attack, of course. Just as if it's trying to prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Alright, so 2 on this. Let's bring the VIP up. Yeah, LRMs aren't even worth cycling. She can't aim for shit. But she'll strip the evasion and maybe something will land. Hey, one of the mediums landed home.
Oh, yeah.
Only a locust and a wasp. Hey, I'm less than intimidated. I'm actually thinking maybe the Wolverine was a little bit of an overkill for this particular mission, and we would have been better off bringing the second Firestarter. And
Engaging physical attack.
And then you miss with the small laser, because of course you do. But we destroyed its legs,
No
so that's the
damage
Locust's
detected.
maneuverability and speed removed. Lead spitters be like MGs go brewer. Yeah, as I said, this thing is a it's a P-51 Mustang on legs. That's the concept behind it. Just
Affirmative.
fill the target with so many small holes that it falls apart.
Copy that. Firing Alpha Strike. But
Well,
that
it's not
hurt.
dead, but I'm willing to bet the pilot wishes it was. Another Davian lands. Fresh wave of hostiles has entered the AO. If they want to throw more baddies at us, it's fine by me. Our employer is paying a bonus for extra kills, and I'm all too happy to collect. Alright, so as I said, second lance dropping in, and we've got bonuses for it, so that's fine. I'm not concerned about this. The Locust is the nastiest piece of
What
kit
do
they
you
got
need?
at the moment, and it's on the ground. So,
Standing by.
right. So this is what you actually do. Although there's no evade. The Wasp has no evasion.
Commander,
Yeah, let's not.
waiting for orders.
Yeah, no, we'll do that.
I'm there.
Let's just make sure we take this in a single turn.
Firing all weapons. That's a kill.
That's a better demonstration. That's another Locust. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, think you can get over there? No. Okay, of course you can't.
Confirmed.
I actually wouldn't mind picking up a Griffin if I can find one.
Firing.
Well, at least she hits 1 out of
Scored
3.
a critical hit.
Which, for one gunnery, is actually surprisingly good RNG.
Here.
Alright, cool off
There.
round for the Wolverine.
Okay.
Just stomp on that thing, please. Don't waste any more ammo. There we
That's
go.
the last of them. All primary targets down.
Alright, primary target's down, Commander. You can evacuate any time. No, there's a bonus on the table. No, and it's only a Locust. I'm not concerned. Let's introduce ourselves. Let's send a Shadowhawk come screaming down the mountain and see what these
Full
guys are.
throttle.
And Griffin is a nice mech. Yeah, I don't like the standard loadout in it, but the mech itself is perfectly okay. I'd probably keep the mech at. Is that a Raven? That is a Raven. Correct me if I'm wrong, stream. Somebody might remember what I've picked up, but I believe I have 3 Raven parts already sitting in the hangar, which means we now have a Raven. I'm pretty sure I do. I'm pretty sure I do. Oh, I am.
What do you
This is
need?
good. I like this. This makes
Understood.
Mags very happy. Proper ECM mech. Raven's a sexy mech? Oh, it's not
Targeting
just a sexy
system
mech. And it
changing.
is. The Raven is a sexy mech, yes. It is a gorgeous mech. But it's
They
the,
got a sensor lock on me.
it's this kind of crazy shit that it does. The, for those who are not familiar with BattleTech, the Raven is essentially the Growler of
Standing by.
the BattleTech universe. So the F-18 Growler.
Rolling.
It's a near pure electronic warfare mech. It can jam signals, it can hide other mechs, it can mass detect other mechs. That's what's going on there, and that dome that's over the top of it. That's its ECM range. Without direct line of sight, nothing that is inside that dome actually appears on sensors. So you can hide an assault mech with this thing, and nobody knows it's there until they see it. It is a violent little piece of art, and it looks really good too. So I thought it was 2 parts, but it may be 3.
Hey.
Ugh. Well, we'll have to be careful when we pull it apart then. I thought it was 3, but now you're making me doubt. I know I've definitely got parts put away. The problem is I've got 2 BattleTech saves running at the moment. One's my personal save and one's this one. And they're both sitting at around the same tonnage. My other save's slightly higher on tonnage, but they're pretty close to being about the same now. So I can't quite remember.
Firing everything.
So we get rid of the Locust and then we can pull apart the Raven. Yeah, I'm just gonna... Oh, yeah. I'm not even gonna bother.
Engaging physical attack.
Oh, that didn't kill you. Oh, that did. Okay. That's fine.
Enemy mech destroyed.
Show me your war face.
Basically the Capellans were looking for a special advantage over the Davians prior to the Fourth Succession Wars, so they hacked together the Raven. Yeah, basically. The only complaint I have about the modern
no.
Raven design is it's lost that hacked together element. It's a really sleek looking mech, which is, you know, it suits what it is, but it's lost some of that that rough jury rigging that it had originally. But that's fine. It's one of those ones I don't care. It still looks really good. I put it in the same category as the Atlas. Like, I love the original Atlas design, but the new
like a
Atlas design
critical
does
hit.
look better.
Commander?
Not all of the new
Ordnance
designs
received.
designs I don't like. Right, so we need to convince you to get out of your mech, but we need to do so preferably without destroying your mech. So we're going to start by removing your leg. That was really poorly aimed, Beach Ball.
Yep. Copy that.
Alright, the Griffin is nearly overheating. We'll pull off its large laser, because there's no point. She couldn't hit a lake if she was on the bottom with them. We'll let the medium cycle. And we'll let the LRM cycle just for the potential shake up the pilot that might have when they land. And nothing hits. Alright, Claymore. Punch it.
Engaging physical attack.
Come on, pilot. I want you to eject.
Yeah? Waiting for orders.
Alright, precision strike again. Focus on the leg.
Targeting for an alpha strike.
Right leg destroyed.
Critical
That's
hit,
what we're after.
Commander. I'm here.
Alright, Wolverine. While it's on the ground, let's target the other leg with the AC-5. High chance to hit.
Alright.
Right torso destroyed, right arm destroyed.
Didn't expect.
On the upside, the pilot ejects. Unfortunately, with the torso destroyed, I think we're only going to get one part, not two. Or if we destroyed both legs, we would get two parts. We do not have a mech and a pilot that's skilled enough at the moment to headshot, so we can't go for the 3.
Mission successful.
But that's mission successful regardless. One way or another, we're coming out of this with some Raven bits, and we're either going to have a Raven or we're going to be pretty bloody close to having a Raven. Alright, so 100,000 in drop costs, so I was pretty much on the money there. Payout 234,000. No bonuses listed. Right, so, no, we had 3 parts. Boom, we've got a Raven. Done. Thank you very much. And we'll take that. So we also have a Locust that we can sell now as well. And we took everything. We took everything in the salvage. But that's alright, I am cool with this. We have a Raven. It's fun to run Narc Raven in MechWarrior 5. That's exactly what I'm planning on doing with this. Running a Narc beacon on a Raven and use the Raven to potentially hide multiple catapults. Or at least that's the theory that I've got going in my head. That's... Raven's the bonus? Yeah, okay, I can't argue with that. You're right, the Raven is the bonus. We are taking that. Oh, we are not selling it. It is going into storage, and we are going to have to get that second mech bay up and running so I can get it out, built, and equipped, and start working out what I'm going to load onto it. For the Locust, we're going to build the 1V, and we are going to just sell it for 163,000, and we got the Wasp component as well. And we have 3 of them in the bank. So, Wasps. We have 2 variants that we can build from here. We're going to build the 1A because it's worth 191,000. Why it's worth that much, I don't know. The Wasp is terrible, but we'll sell it. And that's worked out okay. So we're at 249,000 after that one mission, and we now have a Raven sitting down in the bay that we can tinker with a little bit later on. EA18G Growler, yep, that's the one. Original Raven had proved primitive tech ECM gear. The latest variant swapped out the primitive ECM for BAP and Guardian and Narc, yep. Very impotent pilot, yes, I like that. The redesign might be influenced by the real EF-111A Raven. Actually, you're right. I've never actually considered that. It does have the long nose of the F-111. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Maybe somebody did take a bit of influence there. Although the original one did have a long nose as well, although it was less segmented. It was more of a big smooth wraparound. But yeah, you know, you could be right. You could be right. Wait, you can repair mechs with 4 parts only? How'd that not turn out to be an abomination fidget spinner mech that is cartwheeling around into other mechs for combat? I'm not sure what you mean there, Vox. The X1 Raven kind of sucks since it's a primitive pre-tech helm core ECM suite. Yeah, that's fine. We can work with that, though. So long as it's got the ECM suite, for what I need, that works. As I said, the big part is as technology unlocks, as the game progresses, new stuff is going to become available. So I want to get it up with Narc. We want to get a Beagle Active on it as well. We'll be able to do that. And we'll have to tinker with the weapons. It's probably not going to be heavily armed, but I want to set it up as a pure recon ECM scout. Hide my mechs, find the enemy mechs, paint the enemy mechs, and then have a bunch of support mechs that can unleash hell. That's the plan, anyway. Can you name the Raven the Aardvark? You know, I might. I might when I actually put it back together. Emphasis on leg parts, which you missed, you blind. Yeah, okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. All right, I missed that. Sorry, brain in another place. Fair point, Box. All right, so mission 1 completed. We've got 3 days with the crew down. Let's check our mech warriors. So we do have enough to run another mission, but it's going to have to be a low-skill mission because 2 of our primaries are out. That's not necessarily a bad thing, though.
Standing by. Standing by.
Not enough points
What
to
can I
really
do for
spend
ya?
on everything. Drillbit can. Get the recoil penalty or the minimum range? Yeah, probably the minimum range. We tend to get really close, so -2 minimum range penalty.
Training
Go
confirmed,
for.
Commander.
Confirmed.
Phantom, what were we doing with you? We were going to build you into a recon pilot, we were. Which means you are going to want exactly the same build we're going with Beach Ball, so you are picking up tactics. You've got an odd collection of bonuses, as I recall. Command experience, +1 resolve, mech warrior, +1 melee defense, +1 bonus health. Periphery, Spacer, reduces Argo upkeep, and Technician. Yeah, you're an interesting one, but I think we're going to go full recon with you. So you're going to want Sensor, and then we're going to decide whether or not you pick up the second piloting skill, or whether you go for Master Tactician. But I think either one of those are going to be good, and you're going to be a really useful pilot later. So we'll take that.
Mech warrior training complete.
Ready to rock.
And Relentless has no points worth spending. Claymore's
Yes,
done.
Commander.
Cerberus is
Waiting
done.
for orders.
Orders?
Archangel is also done. Okay. Now, we're on 2.2. Ship upgrades. 882,000 to get the second mech bay up and running.
Sure thing. It'll take a bit, but we'll get it done.
Down to 1.3. Now we have to make some money. But I'm in a good mood after that. We got 2 mech cells. We got the Raven sitting away. I want the ability to get that thing out. And we really start needing to get that second mech bay up and running anyway. So, now we need more money to actually cover the cost of that. So, gone to ground. Commander tracking a pirate Leopard dropship through this region where we lost its signal. Orbital scans suggest the ship made landfall here in Convoy, probably hoping to go to ground and hide the military lance it was carrying. It would be convenient if that lance were to disappear, and Merrick analysts believe they isolated the area the target lance is trying to hide in. Battle in the desert, 1 skull. Although... a good one, but I kind of want to make sure I've actually still got option. Marek, I'm not friendly enough with Marek to have the really good options yet. Yeah, okay, so 2 extra points. We're not getting a... yeah, it's only going to be 210, so we're never getting above 2 as an option. It's going to cost us 100,000 to deploy. 379 will go 1-4. An extra 2 random pickups is not worth it. And at least we've got 1 point, so that if something nice does fall over, we can drag 1 piece of decent salvage off the battlefield. And that'll start covering our costs and getting us back towards the 2 million. Just remembering the primitive X1 ECM, just give the 1 cloak point, not 2. Oh, that's alright. Still, 1's better than none. And at this point, it's only 3029. So that 1 point is better than anything else that's available at the moment. The other version of the Raven will become available later, but not until it would become available inside of in the storyline period. So it's 2030s, late 2030s, early 2040s, I think it becomes available. So, yeah, it will show up eventually. We just don't get it straight away. We will be doing that mission. I'm just going to... No, we should really... I should really run the pilots. Now that I think about it. No, Darius, I didn't want to talk to you. God damn it. I just have a funny feeling if I take that mission, I'm going to regret it if I... Yeah, if I'm going to regret it if I don't have my decent pilots on. Yeah, no, we'll let a bit of time pass. How long have we got? We got 20 days. Yeah, we can afford to spend 6. We can afford to spend 6. It's fine. I can see that mission turning bad if a second lance turns up and I don't have good enough gunnery skills. And it's a battle, so I would like to drag something off the field because we do have... Actually, before we start the mission, storage. Alright, so we've got 3 parts of a Griffin sitting in here at the moment. Jägermech, Lancelot, Dervish, Gladiator. 2 parts of a Centurion, 2 parts of a Crab. Not doing as well on parts as I initially thought, all things considered. Blackjack, yeah, a couple of Hunchbacks. Yeah, we need more, actually, yeah. And unless a Griffin shows up on the battlefield, it doesn't really matter. It's the only thing we've got 3. I thought we were doing better than that. I really did. Alright, so we'll do that mission. Go underground. Negotiate. Same as last time. 379, 1/4. Same mech lineup. Claymore, Cerberus. We'll leave Beach Ball in the lead splitter, and we will bring... We'll bring Relentless in. And he can also have the other fire starter as well. Okay. Should probably start sorting out these two. I'm paying for them at the moment. I'm never using them. The Phoenix Hawk in particular, as I'm not super fond of the mech. Poor Cappies, they develop and produce a new mech design, the Innosphere, for the first new mech designed in the Innosphere for hundreds of years, and it's basically an A10 but ECM. Hey, it's still a good mech. And promptly gets pillaged by Davian. Well, of course that was going to happen. They managed to design a mech, of course. That's fantastic. They managed to build it. It was a really good mech too, but it doesn't mean they're very good at piloting them. Of course they were going to lose them. The first mercenary company they encountered and lost to was going to yank that thing off the battlefield in a heartbeat. And sell it to the highest bidder as well, because they wouldn't know what to do with it. At least most of them wouldn't. Because that's the way the battlefield, the BattleTech universe works. In fact, probably the second new mech showed up that was freshly produced, there would have been extra mercenaries operating in space looking to get into fights with them so they could recover them and be the first to sell them. We've got the enemy Lance on radar commander. They're in the target area and powered up. They must have seen us coming in our Leopard.
My God.
Thing you got to remember is mercenary pilots aren't just mercenaries. They're also the equivalent of Ukrainian tractors. You know, if it gets left on the battlefield, it's getting collected.
I'm there.
Affirmative, Commander.
Alright, so, 2 mechs. Alright, one identified. We have a Mongoose. Okay. Not too
Waiting
interested.
for orders.
Bring the lead spitter out wide. Get ready
Rolling.
for its sprint in. And let's throw up a sensor lock on the second mech and ID it.
I've got a
And it's a
sensor
wasp.
lock.
Okay, so it's a wasp. Nothing to really concern myself with
What
at
are
the
your orders,
moment.
Skipper?
Take the high line with the fire starter. It's got jump jet, so we can jump down if it
I'm
needs
there.
to. Second mech on sensors. Yeah, right,
Copy
we'll
that.
cycle them. Hey, one of them actually landed. That was a pretty low chance. The fuck is a mongoose? 40 ton, I think. Somebody might have to hit Sana up. I can't think of him off the top. But that is a mongoose. It's a scout mech.
Hey.
Wolverine can't get decent line of sight. That's actually a really shitty position. Going through that bottleneck there. And get direct line on the wasp though, so the Wolverine can engage the wasp while we wait for the mongoose to close in. We'll get Claymore to do exactly the same thing, so it'll be easier for him to hit. And now the Wolverine has removed the wasp's one evasion chevron.
Engaging target.
Ooh, left arm destroyed. That's probably most of its chest armor gone in a single salvo.
Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
Very light scout mech.
ready to rock.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact numbers for it, but it's sort of, if you know your clan mechs, it's sort of the equivalent to the Fire Moth,
I
as
got
I
you.
recall. Alright, let's unload everything.
Engaging target.
Yeah, 25 tons, 3 medium lasers, small laser in the nose. Oh, okay. So it's exactly a fire moth. I was thinking it was a bit heavier than that, to be honest, but... Yeah, right. Let's just bully the hell out of this wasp.
Engaging target.
I would consider that
Enemy mech
suitably
destroyed.
bullied.
Commander? Coordinates received.
I thought 40 tons was more medium range. Medium starts at 45.
Firing all weapons. Bet that hurt.
45, 60 for heavy, and 80 for assault, I think.
I'm here.
I'm probably getting those wrong now I'm thinking about it, but that's your ballpark area.
All right.
Yeah, no, 45 is the split, because a Phoenix Hawk is a medium at 45, but the Assassin at 40 is only a light. It's heavy for a light, but it's still a light. Medium starts at 40.
What now?
Pretty sure it's 45. Could be wrong, though. Could be wrong.
Copy. If you say so. Mech destroyed.
Well, its weight tonnage just got significantly reduced regardless. It's now spread over a much larger area.
Standing by.
And the last one's an Ubermech.
I'm there.
Thought the Cicada was a 40 ton and that's a medium. Yeah, I could be wrong here. I could be wrong.
Engaging target.
I'm now going to have to go and bone up on the
Yup.
books after all this stream.
I'm
Be really
rolling.
embarrassed. My favourite universe. Well, what's now my favourite universe?
see
Because
what
my
you
formerly favourite universe got Disneyed. And I'm getting my getting my numbers wrong.
Full throttle.
Yeah, I was expecting more than this. I was expecting a lot more than
Confirmed.
this.
Copy that, Commander. Locking off with all weapon systems. Reporting. Critical hit.
Commander?
Jump in.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Reporting critical hit.
Pilot stressed.
I'm here. Advancing.
Cerberus around the corner
again.
next.
Copy that. Firing Alpha Strike.
And then Claymore into position next. Although, shots from this range are not working out particularly well, but...
Engaging target.
Ooh, those ones worked out better.
Enemy mech. Critical damage.
And yet, pilots had
detected.
enough. Right, well that mission was a whole lot of nothing.
Mission successful.
Maybe we do need to actually turn the difficulty up a little bit here and start looking at bigger worlds. Although, while we're building up cash, having easier missions isn't necessarily a terrible thing to have. It's only slowing down our tonnage building more than anything. Alright, so what to drag off the field here? The Mongoose is the obvious one. We've got 2 parts out of the Mongoose. We've also got 2 parts of an Urbamech floating around. So we'll take one. If we get the second part of the Mongoose, we'll be able to sell it. And we get the Wasp. That's alright. It means we've got another mech we can sell later. 2 medium lasers and an SRM2, which I'll probably never use. I'll probably start selling them off in books soon enough. SRM4s I have uses for, don't really have much for 2s. I don't run anything that's that light. Lord help us if Disney buys BattleTech. I don't think that will be a problem. You got a bigger worry about Disney potentially buying Warhammer 40k. And I don't think that's going to happen either. It's not big enough, and it's a lot darker than Star Wars. Yeah, Star Wars can get pretty dark if you go into the old expanded universe, which is obviously the best part of the story. But yeah, the BattleTech, the book that I recommended a little bit before, the Nellis Academy incident, it's about a bunch of teenagers, like young teenagers, that get caught up in a bout of political intrigue, and it has a bunch of young teenagers that get killed in some pretty brutal manners, that are all, well, they're not just teenagers, they're all students at the Nellis Military Academy being trained to be, future battlefield medics and tacticians and mech warriors, and it's a specialist academy for that. And yeah, they get caught up in some intrigue, and there's some pretty brutal death in that book for them. It as I've said in the past, the key point of the BattleTech universe, to understand the way the BattleTech universe works, is right now humanity are a bunch of pricks. 1,000 years ago, we were a bunch of pricks. 2,000 years ago, we were a bunch of pricks. And 1,000 years from now, we're still going to be a bunch of pricks. And that's pretty much it. That's the way it is. All the horrible things we do now, 1,000 years from now, we're not going to be more enlightened. It's not going to be like Star Trek. We're all sitting in our ships and everything's all white and wonderful. No, we're still going to be a bunch of arseholes. We're just going to be a bunch of arseholes with spaceships and really big guns. And that's it. And that's what some of the stories are like. There are some lighter stories in the BattleTech universe, but there are some really dark stories as well. But that being said, I do recommend the book. It was, for a BattleTech book that didn't have a mech in it until the last couple of chapters, it was a really good story. It really fleshed out a whole bunch of the world, particularly parts of Merrick Space and Merrick versus the Capellans. And the final mech battle that showed up, which was one mech on its own, and a commando at that, it shows what mechs are meant to be capable of doing in lore really well. It was actually one of the better described mech engagements that I've seen in literature. And it makes it very clear without having to directly state it, what the advantage of a battle mech actually is over a tank, and exactly what they're capable of doing, both offensively and defensively. So yeah, I recommend you pick that one up. It's not a very big read. If you get the book, it's not a huge amount of pages, and if you get the audio book, I think it's only 7 or 8 hours. It's not that long, but totally worth it. A lot of established lore too, still scary to think about. Yeah, I mean, it is scary to think about the concept, and I know Hollywood has looked at the BattleTech universe in the past when it was incredibly popular at that period in the early 90s, before the whole bunch of lawsuits and a few other things kind of cost it some of its ability to grow. But I don't think it'll be a problem. At the moment, the BattleTech license is split between two companies, and one of them's Microsoft. So that side of things is pretty cool. And the other side of it is Catalyst Games, and a big part of Catalyst Games is built up of the original FASA guys that created BattleTech, and they've lost the license once already, and I doubt they're going to be too eager to lose it again. So, and also, they've seen what has happened to the Star Wars universe, so I wouldn't be concerned. Mongoose looks pretty cool. Is it a clan mech? Nope, Innisphere mech. This period in time, we're at October 8th, 3029. At this period in the storyline, the clans are still in clan space. The Wolf's Dragoons have come into the Innisphere to start their recon, but that's it. The clans aren't here yet. The clan invasion doesn't start until 3049. So you won't see any clan mechs in this game until we hit that time period. And yes, this game does go past that time period. The clan invasion happens and clan mechs will start showing up when they do. It runs through to 3061, this timeline for this mod. So we will see everything up to the start of the FedCom Civil War. And then there's a mod we're going to switch over to that's actually the FedCom Civil War and beyond. So that's cool. But no, everything you see here at the moment, you'll see either clan mechs, not clan mechs, you'll see Innisphere mechs, or older Star League Defense Force mechs, so SLDF Star League era mechs. That's it. No clan mechs yet. So what's the name of the book? The Nallis Academy Incident. It's available in Audible. That's where I listen to it, because I do a lot of audiobook stuff now. Otherwise, it's a short novel. I'm sure it'll be on whatever bookstores that actually house your BattleTech stuff. You'll have to dig around to find them, but it shouldn't be hard. Too much baggage with 40k. Yeah, yes, I agree. Which is why I think Games Workshop was doing what it was doing with Warhammer 40k not all that long ago, where it almost looked like it was trying to pretty up the universe. But I've noticed they've sort of kind of stopped that a little bit. So I think they might have worked out they were going to tank their entire IP before they actually made it clean enough and clear enough that somebody might actually look at buying it. So instead they've... well, they haven't really reversed anything. They just normally it was weekly controversies over them ruining this part, ruining that part, retconning this part, giving the Emperor a name for God knows what reason they did that for. But they've sort of stopped all of a sudden. 3049, they're just getting into the periphery. Yeah, no, the invasion officially starts in October 3049. Which is when the first clan mechs were sighted on the northern borders, in between the periphery. So the first recons were getting through. So 3049 is actually the starting point. That's when the first announcements start popping up for it. So, yeah, with the full clan war starting in 3050. But the official invasion, the first points of the invasion, starts right at the end of 3049. Which we are going to play through. As I said, I'm not entirely sure how long it'll take us to get there, but we are playing through the clan invasion. Right, so at this point in time, it is 2:08 in the morning. Let's do another mission, because why not? Interrupted exercise. It's a 1.5 skull battle in the desert. We have intel that allows conducting military exercises on this backwater world. This is an opportunity to covertly advance Davian interests in the region. We need a deniable force to intercept the drills and provide them some live fire exercises instead. I like the way you think. We believe that there is a primary lance of mechs and a supporting lance of vehicles. Only the mechs are important, but if possible, eliminating the vehicles would be valuable. Alright, so 2 lances with a bonus on the vehicles. Alright, we will do that one. Again, we're going to let time advance. We have 6 days, 14 to financial report. I know I'm going against what I said about giving the new guys a bit of a crack, but we might do that in the next set of missions. I do need to train up more mech warriors, because later on we are going to lose them. We are going to start taking injuries, and I do need to make sure I've got alternates. But at the moment, this is going to be a tough call. Or maybe not so tough. That barely covers. This is really stingy pay for Davian. Alright, so we'll make 200,000 and we'll get 2.8 if we leave it at standard. Alright, we'll run with that. We'll run with that. Let's go shit on some compellents. That'll be fine. Shadowhawk, Wolverine, Leadspitter. We'll leave the same lineup as last time and just deploy. So I assume the stream quality is still ticking along quite nicely here at the moment. We've had no major issues. I haven't really had a chance to check. It's one of those things. It's actually a little bit harder to check streaming on YouTube than Twitch. Twitch actually has a nice gauge that shows your dropouts and your bit rate. Here I seem to be fine according to OBS, but that's all the information that I've got.
Command interface initiated.
Alright, another Mars-like. We picked up a fusion engine signatures and weapons fire commander. Looks like the targets are in this area. We have... Okay, that's a spider. Not sure about that off the silhouette. There's a couple of mechs that could be. It could be a commando, could be something a little bit bigger. Not sure. That's... Actually, take that back. That might be a wasp. Spider or a wasp? Yeah, no, I think it's close to a wasp. Spiders are a little bit taller and a little bit lankier in the arms. Not seeing anything to be too concerned about yet.
Nice, cool legs. I'm there.
Copy that, Commander.
There was one break for me earlier, but otherwise it's been fine. Looks good to me. Okay, that's cool. That's good. This does seem to stream remarkably well, considering my connection. So I've been monitoring it because I'm hoping to do a little War Thunder or a little something else on stream. I've also got Gonna Hit PC. I'm thinking about doing a bit of a stream on. If I don't do a stream on that, I'll be making a video on it very soon. That is a fantastic title. Anybody into tank combat should be downloading the demo of that on Steam right now and playing it. You can play the demo for free and it is great. It's going to be a kick-ass game. Alright, so we actually have forest here. So I'm going to take advantage of this while we do a bit of a swing through and spot up where all these mechs are. Alright, so what have we got here? They just lit them all up. So we got a Wasp, an Os Scout. Okay, so that's what that was. It was a Stinger. And a second Wasp. I should have just taken the money.
Confirmed.
I really should have just taken the money. The Os Scout is the heaviest mech there, and it's the most annoying.
You got it.
Only 35, 40, 40, 65. Okay, we'll go for you. Going to
Engage
get the
target.
medium lasers in. We'll take out one of the Wasps. I am noticing the response time between chat and when I'm actually saying stuff is a little bit slow, so I think there is a bit of a delay running here at the moment. I'm wondering whether or not YouTube is automatically compensating for part of my connection to keep it stable. Because I don't have a delay set at all, so everything should be instant. Either that or you guys are just slow responding, I'm not entirely sure. Alright, that one, before it has a chance to move, let's plug it with the AC5 Plus. And that's why those things are annoying. So that's almost my entire land sensor locked in a single shot.
No. There. Okay.
Stinger. Let's hit the Stinger. There's going to be a delay in even the best of circumstances. Yeah, but the delay at the moment is somewhere around 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes. So, which is more than what I would expect. It's not a major issue for this type of game, because I can concentrate on what I'm doing and I end up catching up with chat either, so it works perfectly fine. Ooh, crit
That
on
was
the
a
MG.
critical hit.
But still.
Heads up, Commander. You've got hostile
Okay,
contacts
so here's the
inbound.
concern with this mission. The mechs aren't too much of an issue, but the tanks can actually be rather nasty. Personally, I don't mind chat delays as long as it's better than Twitch, like bitrate pixelization and shenanigans. Yeah, well, it works for the way that I do chat anyway, because I just sort of
Standing by.
glance over as in between the enemy having its turns, see what you're talking about, respond, because I like to chat. I'm sure you've noticed by now, and if you haven't... Alright, so we're going to lead spit on the... We can get everybody except the Off Scout. One to shit on. It's double medium lasers on the Stinger. It's probably the heaviest one outside of the Off Scout. We got to pick who to delete first. Yeah, we'll delete the Stinger. We'll focus on the Stinger first.
Coordinates received. Targeting for physical attack.
That was a PPC, almost looked like a Gauze. I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure. It could have been a Gauze.
Bet that hurt.
Here's the thing with tanks. A 1.5 skull mission can include up to 60 ton. I think in 2 skull we had an 80 ton tank. So the skull rules only applied to mechs. Well, they're far more flexible when it comes to vehicles on what they can actually show up. So,
Yep. 10-4.
yeah, that's why I want to quickly smash out the most dangerous of these vehicles as quickly as I possibly can, so I can start focusing on getting a runner over there to start stomping all those tanks. Alright, so that's 2 medium lasers off the enemy team.
Target down.
Now the 2 Wasps should have SRM4s. Nasty, but
Damage
on their
minimal.
own, not a major issue. I think for the variants that we've got here at the moment, I probably should have checked that actually. The Scout is the next one that needs to be dealt with, and it hasn't moved this turn. Thank you very much for that, because that means I can slam you in the face with all of the Shadowhawk's firepower. And we will actually do a precision shot on this one, and I'm going for the center torso. I'm going to rip a hole straight through you.
Engaging target.
Of course, that only matters if the center torso actually gets hit.
Damage minimal.
I like this, a stand-up fight. Yeah, except they've got artillery support coming in.
you.
My biggest concern is one of these might be an LRM or an SRM carrier. An SRM carrier... LRM carriers are bad. SRM carriers scare the absolute shit out of me. I will skip shooting heavy mechs to kill SRM carriers before they get into weapons range. Those things are...
Okay, let's go.
What is it? 10 SRM6s on a single mech, and then you target one vehicle with it, an Alpha Strike. I consider them more dangerous. They die in nearly one hit, but I consider them more dangerous. Well, the vehicles are here. So what's the first vehicle? Well, they got autocannons, whatever it is. I hear the Scout is a good light. I don't like them. They're heavily armored, and their ability to sensor lock every mech within a certain range is fantastic, and they're fairly mobile. But firepower-wise, they're kind of dismal. Quickly, let's have a look at what we got. We got a Saladin. So, I'll have to have a look at these. Not sure about the rest. Regardless, Relentless's Firestarter just lost its right arm, so he's just lost a medium laser and he's lost an MG, so I need to get mine. Now, we'll get the Wasp. We'll get the second Wasp on this side.
Ha!
Right leg destroyed. Come on, kill it. No, not enough to kill it. Is an SRM more powerful than an LRM? Yes. Short range, much larger warhead. So SRMs, well, as I said, short range missiles.
Okay, you can cut it out now.
Very short range, limited. At least if you look at the rules for them, they have very limited targeting capability. They're almost like a semi-guided rocket on how they operate. Only viable at very short ranges, very short burn time on the missiles. But their overall size is about the same size as an LRM. They're fired in smaller amounts, but the majority of the missile is warhead, so they hit a lot harder. LRM's much smaller warhead, but they tend to be fired in larger swarms and have better tracking and can fire over much larger ranges. So LRMs are an artillery piece. SRMs are nasty in groups. There's a reason why I stack LRMs on a lot of my mechs. SRMs on a lot of my mechs. If you're getting close with multiple SRMs, you can do a lot of general armor damage very, very quickly. And you get something like an SRM carrier that has, 10 of those on a single chassis, and they can straight up destroy a light mech in a single turn from full health and full armor. Yeah, per shot they do 2 points of damage, missile per 1 point for LRMs, yes. And because of the shorter ranges, even though they have in lore a lesser tracking capability, the chances of them missing are actually less because you've got no room to maneuver against them. SRMs are a bit like a shotgun. Yeah, sort of. Yeah, sort of like a missile equivalent to a shotgun. That wouldn't be a bad...
All weapons committed.
It's not entirely accurate, but it's close enough. Because there
Enemy
is actually
critical
shotguns in
damage
this as
detected.
well. And that Wasp has taken 3 mechs. Yeah, that's it.
Hey.
Shit. What do we got? Still unknown vehicle. Yeah, we're going to have to deal with that. I'm going to have to deal with that. Alright, so the Wolverine's going to have to
Moving
go
to position.
and deal with the vehicles. I'm going to have to leave the other 3 here. Saladin's got an AC-20. Yeah, that's why the Firestarter's arm just disappeared. There's a direct hit from an AC-20. A Vendette. That looks like a burst cannon AC-5 or an AC-10. Manicore. Manicore's got to go. And we have an SRM carrier. Alright. And that's why I hate SRM carriers. There goes almost all of my armor. Do we understand now?
Waiting for orders.
Yeah, that's just become a much bigger problem. That SRM carrier is now more important than anything else on this map. That has to be destroyed immediately.
Engaging jump jets. Targeting for an alpha strike.
Yeah, night vision goggles. Good lord.
Orders?
Yeah, I'd rather fight a dragon.
I got you.
Yeah, streaks are basically a guaranteed hit. Streaks don't show up until about the clan invasion. God damn it, I can't get guns onto the SRM. And this is exposing my back to the mechs too. Alright, that got the Saladin out. Alright, so the AC-20's off the
Crawler
field.
destroyed.
Alright, Shadowhawk, you're gonna have to tank a few things for a little bit here, dude.
Warning. Armor low.
We have some concerns. Actually, no. We have to focus on that. We cannot leave the SRM carrier and the Manicore in play. Another round. It's the Manicore loaded out with, yeah, LRM-10, SRM-6, PPC, and a medium laser. Yeah, that has to go as well. At the very least, okay, SRM carriers off the field.
Enemy unit destroyed.
Yes, Commander.
Yeah, that was what I was afraid of. Yeah, that's half on the Wolverine. Half the Wolverine's center torso armor is gone. 2/3 of its left torso armor is gone. The entire right torso armor is gone, and half of its internal, little under half of its internal structure is gone. And all but one point of armor was stripped off the left arm, the right arm, and call it half the armor off the right leg in a single salvo. Oh, and they also got the other arm as well, so the shots went over and took out 2/3 or more of the armor on the left arm too. The only thing, no, even the left leg's got a little bit of damage, but it's the only thing. The left leg and the head are the only two things that are mostly okay, and even the head took some hits. DFA,
so.
once I get close enough, it's a viable option. Alright, we'll take out the AC-5 and the MG.
Target for an alpha strike.
No, we won't. Okay, we won't get through the side armor. Alright, the Manicore is the big risk now. Although, if it's going to do something stupid like that, that's okay, I can deal with that.
Commander?
Alright, beach ball. Actually, we don't need a DFA, which means we don't need to risk the leg damage. Get in there and stand on the Manicore.
Engaging.
Okay, that was pathetic.
Yep.
So at least stand
Copy
on that
that.
one. So I can focus on that Manicore. Fire starters just don't have enough weight. Okay, that's interesting. His arms don't appear to be attached correctly. That's a bit of an animation bug there.
Warning. Enemy in rear arc.
Yeah, I'm aware of
Warning.
this.
Armor low.
I'm aware of this. I'm aware of this. Come on, punching through the other.
Engaging target.
There we go. Alright, nice. Mana core's out of play. Now we can take
Enemy
out
unit
the
destroyed.
last vehicle and we can focus back on the mechs.
Right here.
And that one, the Wolverine should have enough weight to be able to just crush it on foot. There we go. That's what I was looking for out of my mechs. Much better.
Reporting. Enemy mover down.
Alright, so. You three little bastards.
Standing by.
We have some things we need to deal with here.
This should be good. Target down.
Mana core is a heavy tank, 60 tonner. Yeah, I know. As I said, you can get
Warning.
60s. I think
Enemy
we've had
sensor
80-ton
lock
tanks
detected.
show up in 2 skull missions. The tanks have a lot of vulnerabilities in BattleTech. If you have a mech above a certain weight amount, they can just stomp on them and crush them flat, regardless of how much health they've taken.
Confirm.
And the mechs are a hell of a lot more mobile and a lot more flexible in what they can actually do in comparison to the tanks. The tanks make up for it by having a lot of armor and having a lot of guns. And they can be brought in BEX mod at much higher tonnage per the skull ratings, as you can see. So they can be a nasty surprise. Really, really nasty surprise.
Affirmative.
Matt King, I'm never going to financially recover from this. What are we going to do? Yeah, we need to keep this OS Scout busy over here more than anything else. I can't afford to give it too much of the Shadowhawks
Engaging
back.
physical attack.
That should get its attention.
No damage detected.
Mary Fox, I know it'll never happen, but imagine is one of the houses or clans somehow manage a working RAC-20. They do get working rotary autocannon 20s.
Standing by.
It's just much later in the timeline. It's past 3100. They start showing up. I think they mounted one or two of those on one of the over 100 ton, the heavy assault mechs that start showing up once you get past the FedCom Civil War. Yeah, that's probably gonna be the
Roger
best
that.
move. I hate OS Scouts, cheeky little buggers. Yeah, they're not dangerous in terms of their firepower.
Copy that. Firing
The
out
major
right.
issue with them is the ability to sensor lock everyone, which messes up your evasion and gives bonuses to everybody on their team's hit rating. They're mobile, and they're surprisingly well armored for their tonnage as well. Which means it takes
Waiting
more
for
firepower than you would like to actually be able to deal with one. And when you add to that the evasion bonuses that they get, they're yeah, they're just shits of things.
I'm there. Oh!
like most things in life, a good right hook to the jaw does tend to sort them out,
Hope
it
we can
turns out.
salvage that.
Oh, the super heavies? Ah, well, I've learned something new today. Yeah, the thing to remember, once you get past... Actually, I think the first super heavies, the prototypes, are before 3100. But the heaviest weight class in BattleTech is not 100 tons. The heaviest mech ever built's 200 tons. It wasn't a particularly good mech. It was more of a semi-mobile assault platform. But they built a 200-ton mech
Move order
that
received.
could function. And it is a thing in lore. It's just... there wasn't many of them, and it's more like an AT-AT than
Reporting. Critical
a
hit.
battle mech. Yeah, Dark Age stuff. Yeah, Dark Age and Ilkhan era stuff. That's when that started popping up. When they start getting into the, exactly how big can we build these things factor. And they start building warships again at one point. Because that's a wonderful idea after what they did with the last one.
Enemy mech destroyed.
Oh, I think every single part of it. I should point out that I believe wasps don't have an ejection system in lore. They're too small to actually have a functioning ejection system, so when that happens, there'd be red goo in that cockpit.
Mission successful.
Oscouts sound like they'd be a good second lance as a support if that's a mod. Yeah, there is a mod that allows you to deploy a second lance. I chose not to use it, and unfortunately, if I install it on now, it will destroy all my current saves, and I'll have to start again. But there's absolutely one that allows you to deploy 2 lances. I chose not to use it initially. I kind of regret it now. Having the ability to deploy 2 lances would be cool. It won't make the game any easier, though. Apparently, the way that mod works, it'll let you deploy 2 lances, so you can put 8 mechs on the field, but as a result, every mission in the game also gets a force modifier based on the fact that you can deploy 8 mechs, so they get double the mech counts. Or they get additional bonuses as well in order to compensate for the fact that you're bringing in twice as many mechs as you normally would. So, but yes, it would be perfect to have running as a scout mech. Although I prefer the Raven that I've got sitting in the shed now. So the Wolverine is going to need some touching up, although none of its internals got ripped into. We have to replace some parts on the Firestarter though. But overall, mechs actually perform pretty well. So we have 2 parts of the Oscout sitting in the shed. We have no Wasp components. Muscle salvage quantity 2. It's saying there's 2 parts of that mech in that stack. I think that's what it's saying. We're going to take the Oscout, and we'll take that. LRM-10, medium laser quantity of 3, PVC, SRMs. Do I want the Wasp component, or do I want the stack of 11 SRM-6s? I've got 22 SRM-6s already. No, we'll see if we get that in the random roll. Alright, we got the AC-20. We got all the mech components. We got the medium lasers, MGs. We did not get the SRM-6 stack. That's alright, we got 22 of them in, so that's fine. And we got the AC-20, so that's good. I have absolutely nothing to mount an AC-22, but we have one. There was a mech there, I think. Poor Wasp. I have no sympathy for them annoying bloody things. Very appropriately named, though. Alright, we're going to need to do some mech repairs before our next contract boss. Can't go into combat like this. Yes, I know we're going to have to bolt some stuff back together. That was a little rougher than I was expecting. Although I should have expected it when vehicles were mentioned. So at the very least, 7,500 C-bills in 1 day gets the Wolverine up and running. No parts to replace there, but we are going to have to get into the guts of the Firestarter. So, actually, the only thing we need to replace is 1 MG. Because both lasers are mounted in the center torso. So that is fine. 3494. Cool. That is exactly it. So there's the configuration for anybody who was curious about the MG build Firestarters. I showed this on the previous stream as well, but that's how they're put together. 2 jump jets on each side. 1 MG in each arm, 1 MG in each torso, 2 MGs in the center torso, 2 medium lasers, and stick the ammunition in the legs. Alright, so 36,502 days to replace the arm and bolt the MG back into it. Which is...
Right.
I can deal with that. That's acceptable damage. Phoenix Hawk. You have not been used in quite some time, and you are costing me money to maintain. So is the Assassin. Although the funny part is we're actually getting... mech warriors that are good enough now. We might actually be able to utilize the Assassin properly. Regardless, the Phoenix Hawks... Oh, that's the only spare that I've got at the moment. No, we'll stick it in storage, so I don't have to maintain it. And that frees up a bay as well. Right. So financial report is in 8 days, and our mech warriors will be up in 7 at the longest. So if we time this right, we can get 1 more mission in before the next financial report. And I think I might make that the last one, because that's going to bring us up to nearly 3 AM. And that's, seems like a decent time to call that. Alright, there we go. So tomorrow is the next financial report, and the Argo's Mech Bay also comes online tomorrow as well. So this is timed out nicely. All of our mechs are repaired, rearmed, and reloaded, which is good. So contracts, we have 1 more left to go. Or we have 1 more left we can do. So hostile acquisitions, ambush convoy, marshal, convoy ambush against... Why? They always go wrong. I don't really want to do anything for the Capellans. So even though that's a perfect mission... And that just doesn't pay enough to be worth my time. 86,000 maximum, or 3 out of 14 max salvage on a half-scale mission. There will be nothing but garbage in that mission. Alright, so it looks like we're going to be doing a convoy ambush, which I do not like at all. Yeah, I do not like what we're doing here, but it pays. It pays. 11 SRMs, never saw that before. Yeah, that's another part of the mod as well. You'll occasionally get stacks if parts of salvage are recovered off the battlefield that are intact, and you'll get stacks of components. What happened then was essentially the launching system off of the SRM, the SRM tank, was recovered intact, and so all of the SRMs were in the stack. I would have grabbed it because SRMs, I tend to go through SRM6s a lot, but I've already got 22 in storage because I've got a bit of a bulk saved up, so I don't really need them. Would have been nice to have them, but not really a thing that I'm super concerned about. A second lance would be great. You'd be able to use more light and medium, so you don't have to sacrifice firepower and armor. Yeah, it would have been. In hindsight, as I said, I regret it a little bit, but at this point, we've got hours and hours and hours in this campaign at this point. We've played through, I think, 5 years at this point, or we've somewhere in that area. I should probably be, no, less than that. Less than that. We played through about a year. We haven't, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Yeah, because we started a little bit after... Started in 3028 and we're in 3029 now. So yeah, we've been playing for about a year. Yeah, and I don't want to lose the progress. So this is what it is. I'll look into that mod for the next mod once this campaign's played through, or if we decide to end this campaign, or end this career and end this this mercenary company and start up a new one that's a little bit closer to the clan invasion, depending on how we want to go about this, because I haven't decided on that yet. But if we do either of those, I'll definitely look at setting it up to be able to deploy the 2 Lancers. Mounted on an urban mech. Yeah, and then lose it the first round when the urban mech gets its shot off. There are 2 200-ton mechs. The Orca, which started as a Halloween joke but has since become canon, and the Spider mech drone, which was defeated by a dragon. Yep. Does it count as a mech as if it's a drone? Yes, it does. A mech doesn't necessarily require a pilot. It should have one, but it doesn't necessarily require one. Spirit Fox, probably going to head off shortly. Damn, just got off work too. Just want to see what you're dropping into. Well, we'll work this one out. See, it's a 2-skull mission. 325, 20 to 8. You know, we'll leave that as is. So if we actually get some decent mechs that we have to destroy, I'm going to have to put the fire starters to work here on intercepting the convoy. The problem is with these missions, and this is the bit that gets really nasty and why I don't like them, sometimes the convoys are armed. And sometimes the convoy isn't a supply truck. It's an 80-ton assault tank. And that's what you've got to take out. And that gets really, really, really rough. So... oh well, let's see what we see. I do like the idle chatter here in BattleTech. It makes it feel more alive to me. Yeah, it's great in the hangars having that go through. This game itself is designed really well. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I really hope they make another one, because they got so much right here. And they could absolutely improve on the formula without having to reinvent it. Like, this game, on possibly a newer engine with a larger scope, but otherwise don't change the concept or how any of it actually operates, it would be perfect. There would be no problems with it at all.
Command interface initiated.
Alright, intercept the convoy. We'll need to identify their route. Let's move up and get eyes on the targets. When contact is made, we'll hit them hard before they reach their destination. Then extract to our designated evac zone. Alright, so the other part with these missions, why I don't like them, is they are stacked. If so much as a single
Moving to position.
vehicle makes it to their destination point, the mission's automatically a failure and gets scrubbed. So, run along stepping on them. Yeah, that is the plan. Like a 40-ton Mario. Yeah, that is the plan. The problem is, if they're a light mech, they're light vehicles, that's fine. The fire starters can do that all day. If we go in there and it's a convoy of manticores, things get a little bit more complex a lot quickly. Probably go the right-hand side. That's probably the fastest way around. Although the fire starters can jump straight through once we get them close enough. PSP modder thanks for streaming. Have to admit, I bought the game because of your playthrough. Realized I had Twitch Prime sub I had not used, so I've thrown it your way. Oh, thanks a lot, man. I said I'm not streaming over there anymore, really. I might do some stuff on Twitch every now and again, but it's I don't like what they're up to, as I said previously, in regards to the ads and some of the shit they're up to. Hopefully they sort it out, but for the moment, I'm going to keep
Primary
everything
target
over
on screen,
here.
Commander.
And I know it means that the Twitch subs are probably going to go away, but as I said, I don't like how Twitch is handling those anyway. So, you know, give them to somebody who you really want to support, I guess, over there. Right, so the good part is the denial zone is over here. So we are going to be in between the convoy and where they need to get to, regardless of what they are at this point.
There. Okay.
Alright, so we have... Oh, that is that's a couple of targets there. Alright, so what do we got? We got a Stinger. Yeah, I think they've seen us. Yeah, not too concerned. I got the evasion up on both of the fire starters, so we're going good there. We got a Stinger. We got two Stingers. Two Stingers, unknown vehicles. I really wish I had a better scout. As you get more points in your tactics skill, I think it's tactics. Yeah, it's tactics. Get more points in your tactics skill for your scout pilots. Eventually they get the ability that anything that they pick up on sensors, they'll be able to give you a tonnage. It still won't identify what the vehicle is, but you'll know exactly what tonnage vehicles are. And so you can start to anticipate exactly what you're going to be facing and working out exactly how you're going to pull apart the escorts before you actually identify what each of them is.
Commander?
But we don't have that yet, so... So for the moment, don't really like that. And I don't really want to damage the legs on these mechs, and the DFA will damage the legs. What's going to be the best way to do this? This one's in a really shitty position. Alright.
Lifting off.
Beach ball can jump up here. Or unload into the Stinger. Low chance
Copy
to
that,
hit.
Commander.
And we got sensor locks,
Ready to
which
rock.
are to be expected. So you know what? I'm going to run the risk. I'm going to run the risk with the DFA. We'll do it with Relentless. Please don't break your mech.
Oh, hell yeah!
Alright. The melee hit landed good. Now MGs. Come on, finish it.
Critical hit.
Got a knockdown. Panic level is critical. Alright, so it landed well, but we just did excessive damage to the mech. Well, we may have done excessive damage to the mech. I have to check the fire starter after that. We have taken armor damage. So, that is a concern. I want to make sure it was worth it though and get rid of the Stinger first.
Enemy mech destroyed.
I should have grabbed the Phoenix Hawk to DFA all the vehicles. I'm not fond of the Phoenix Hawk even for that role.
Hey,
My problem with the Phoenix Hawk is that it
Okay,
has too
let's
much
go.
of its outlying or important weaponry is external, and its armor count is not high enough. So while it is incredibly good in some situations, it's really vulnerable and can have all its advantages taken away with one good shot. If you damage the thrust vectoring unit, all of its bonuses go. And there we go. The first vehicle's Bulldog. And if you take off its arms, it's basically worthless. Goblin LRM carrier. At least it's only a goblin,
Try aiming next
so it's a
time.
little
See
bit,
what you
carries a few
get.
less. Bulldog AC2. Alright, so all the vehicles we need to destroy are actually armed combat vehicles. No
My old mama
transports.
can hit harder than that.
And a Prowler. Sean, hello from the US of A. You got me into the BattleTech universe.
My
I've been really
internals are
digging
taking a
it. I
beating.
see you kitted out the other fire starter in the stream that I missed. Yep. Yep, we've got 2 of them up and running now. We've actually had them running for a while. They're basically the sort of the backbone of the core of our fast move forces at the moment. Alright. Phoenix Hawk, we need to shoot past and start popping out the vehicles. So SRM4, SRM4, medium machine gun and large laser.
Primary target is taking damage.
We're actually got to kind of, and this is the painful part, we kind of have to ignore the mechs. At least a little bit.
I'm here.
I think the Wolverine's going to be the one to do most of the stomping, but we got to try and take out a few of them before we get there.
Okay, firing everything.
And a Vindicator, so we got a PPC on the field as well. And the fire starter is getting flogged here.
Armor breach. Internal damage.
Yeah. There's the unstable. Pilot's just taken an injury.
Oh.
And that's
wounded,
why I
Commander.
don't like to DFA. Because that is directly from the DFA.
Gotcha.
What version of BEX am I running? Off the top of my head, I have no idea. The latest version as of April, I think I installed this. So if there's been an update since April, I'm not running it. Now they're trying to kill Relentless and destroy the
That
fire
shot got
starter
through
before
my
he has
armor.
a chance to get up.
Confirmed.
The Phoenix Hawk is average to me, but I hear nothing but good things about it from the community. There's a... Okay, do you want the slightly condescending answer as to why that is? It's because the Phoenix Hawk's a Veritech.
Engaging jump jet.
And a lot of the BattleTech community are weebs. Like, that's what the Phoenix Hawk is. The Phoenix Hawk, if you look at it, is based on the model for the Veritech fighter from the Macross series. That's what it is. The BattleTech community has a lot of weebs in it, and it is very much a weeb mech.
All weapons. Go.
The only mech that out-weebs the Phoenix Hawk is the Kurita's Hamato Chi, which actually goes into battle with a katana. Okay, that's it. That's it. That thing is actually a Mall Ninja mech. Yeah,
Damage
Macross.
looks light, Commander.
That's why. A lot of people have a soft spot for the Phoenix Hawk, despite its generally being kind of a shit mech.
Okay.
Like it's not a. Actually, no, that's wrong. It's not a shit mech. It's just really restrictive on what you can do with it, and not very flexible, and very situational in what it can do, and where it really excels. That doesn't make it a shit mech, but it does mean that it's not an ideal platform in a lot of cases. But there's a lot of love for it because it's Veritech. And there is a version of it in the BattleTech. There is a version of it in BattleTech that can actually turn into a flight-capable mech. So there is actually a proper land-air mech version of this thing. And I'm getting distracted from the target here.
Damage minimal.
Yep.
Need to...
I'm there.
The Wolverine goes after the vehicles. Jump jets destroyed. Thrust vector kit destroyed. There we go. We've just crippled the Phoenix Hawk.
Critical hit.
With one of its jump jets down and the thrust vectoring kit destroyed, it just lost all of its bonus damage from jumping around, and it lost about half of its
I
mobility.
took a hit in the meat. Got a weapon out.
That Vindicator is going to be the death of me, though.
What now?
Alright. What is the best way to do this? Relentless is the best one to stand on. The Golem LRM needs to be on the short list. Bulldog AC2.
Affirmative.
Go first.
Yeah.
Primary target
One
is
down.
damaged, Commander. Keep it up.
Back armor, that's what I was worried about.
I don't like how this is going.
It's alright, you and me both. That's why I hate these missions. Alright, you've already moved, so we'll use Claymore to stand on the Bulldog, and they take it out of the equation, so that's 2 down.
Engaging physical attack. Enemy unit destroyed.
And the Stinger is the most weeb mech, though. I don't know. Phoenix Hawk runs too hot for what it is. Yeah, that's part of its problem. It's a primarily energy-based mech that takes all of its bonuses from using its jump jets, but it has insufficient cooling to actually cover it all, so it cooks itself in a turn or two. That limits its flexibility. For that turn or two, it's really good, and then it's in all sorts of trouble. Alright, Stinger. God, this doesn't matter which way I do this at the moment. This is not good.
Move order received.
That gets rid of that. Open up with the MGs. Come on, do some damage. Hits nothing but air, of course. At least the Phoenix Hawk is more interested in giving a punch on than anything else at the moment. Which, if he wants to try and punch on with my Shadow Hawk, go right ahead. You know, it's like trying to get into a punch on with a brick
Waiting
wall.
for orders.
I'm totally down with you doing this. Alright, get into the rear armor of the Phoenix Hawk again. Do it. Right arm destroyed. There goes about 50% of the Phoenix Hawk's firepower.
Commander.
Lambs were not very successful, yeah. Yeah, it's they weren't, no, but it's the fact that they exist. And you know, I get it. Like I like Macross. I've never watched the complete Macross series, before. I really need to. But I grew up on Robotech, which was the, I know, you know, roll your eyes at it, the American knockoff, but I love Robotech. And I can get the appeal for the mech, but I also love the BattleTech universe enough that I'm not willing to overlook the shortcomings of the Phoenix Hawk for the nostalgia. Alright, now the reason why I took out those 3 vehicles...
Oh, shit. Oh, crap. Oh, that hit me.
I didn't think the Goblin would be able to get enough range to actually open up with the LRMs.
Destroyed.
I hope he's not dead. There's a good chance we just lost another pilot. This is why I hate these fucking missions.
Yes, Commander.
Cerberus, stand on that
Moving
cunt.
to position.
Get your
Thank
lance
you.
to the LZ, Commander. I'm coming in hot.
Unfortunately, this mission has already cost us more than we'll actually make during the mission.
Yes,
So,
Commander.
and that's assuming that we didn't just lose a pilot. So...
Ha! Scored a critical hit.
If we did just lose a pilot, this has cost us lots. Ouch. Rear shot with the PPC into the back of the Wolverine. Alright, Shadowhawk front forward.
All weapons committed. Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
Standing by.
And Cerberus front forward
there.
and punch the Stinger and finish it. Get
Going
rid
hand
of
to
it.
hand.
Thank you.
Enemy mech destroyed.
Reminds me I need to get a hold of the whole inward timeline of Robotech. Actually, I do too. I've only got the box set seasons on
I'm
DVD
here.
for when they did the special edition anniversary release for the first 2 seasons of Robotech. So I probably need to complete that collection. Not that I've got really anything that plays DVDs anymore, but...
Reporting critical hit.
Perhaps these NPC's got Terminator AI.
Light hit.
It's not so much the AI and the mechs. The mechs here wouldn't be
Right
an issue.
here.
The problem with these missions, as I said, is when they say, "Oh, you've got to take out this convoy," the convoy isn't transports. It's full-on combat vehicles.
Affirmative.
And because they get weighted differently to the way mechs do, as you've seen already, you
Critical
can get
hit,
really
Commander.
high tonnage. That was probably a 200-ton vehicle lance there that we had to deal with. There's, spread out between them all, there would have been pretty close to it. Almost evenly divided, about 50 tons apiece per vehicle. Maybe slightly under, maybe 180 tons, 180 to 200 tons, that sort of an area. Just for the convoy we're supposed to take out, and then we've got a full lance of mechs to deal with as well. Okay, so that's the Phoenix Hawk
Enemy mech
removed.
destroyed.
And novelty of owning box sets is still nice.
I'm okay for
still have to
now.
pick up the Stargate box set. I've got all of those. Again, I don't have a DVD player to put them in, but I've owned those for years.
Damage minimal.
I am a
Reading
big
you.
Stargate nerd as well. Yeah, my more than one of my XCOM games has been me recreating SG-1. That's just kind of a thing.
Engaging jump jet.
There were mods for uniforms at one
Send
point as
for-
well, but I don't think they've been updated in ages.
Engaging target.
Let's crack this Vindy
Enemy
over
mech.
and over
Critical
and
damage
call it a day.
detected.
Standing by. Copy that. Firing up strike. I'm here.
Right. Can't do that, but what we can do is we can jump. We can't get far. Damn it, we can't get far enough around to get a full side. Oh yeah, to get the
Copy
full
that.
rear armor, but we can get the side armor. So let's open up on that and let's focus
Fire
that leg.
all weapons. Scored a critical hit.
Crits, but no leg destruction. Shadow Hawk, another precision strike. Let's go for the other leg, see what happens.
Engaging target. Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
Right here.
Cerberus really needs the
Roger
bonus to range penalty.
Copy.
And we finally knock
That
her
look-
over, but she's gonna. Oh no! Pilot ejects. Pilot failed.
Mission successful.
All right. SG-1 is a classic. Opinion on Universe. You know what? I am disappointed they cancelled Universe. Initially, it was very, very, very slow. I liked the idea, but it was very slow to get off the ground. But I feel like right at the end, like the last couple of episodes of the first season, before they canned it, they had sort of started working out what they wanted to do with the season, what they wanted to do with the series. Like they finally started working out what was going to work and what wasn't going to work and how it was going to work. I think if it had got a second season, Universe would have been really good. Probably not quite up to SG-1 or Atlantis' standards, but it would have been a really good series and worth watching. But unfortunately, that's a problem that a lot of sci-fi TV series have, unless they've got a lot of backing and they've got a big name behind them. If they don't hit the ground running in the first season, they often won't get a shot at a second season in order to be able to sort themselves out, and that's the problem they ran into. They just, by the time they had found their footing, the decision to can them after the first season had already been made, and I do think that was a mistake, but. Alright, so ambushed the convoy and escaped. Everything was done. Contract payment increased by 25% because we got rid of all the escorts. That's good. We're going to need the money. Alright, so the Wolverine. Relentless was killed in action. Relentless was killed in action. We did lose the pilot. The Wolverine didn't take any major internals. It's easy enough to fix. The fire starter. I'm not sure how he died, to be perfectly honest. Torso was blown up. That's a critical hit to the pilot, so that's one point of health. He got knocked over twice, so that's 2 more. I don't know what took the 4th pip of health. When he died, he still had 2. Unless losing the leg triggered an ammunition explosion, because he never took any hits to the head. The head's still intact, so he never took a head injury. So yeah, unless it was the ammunition explosion in the leg, which is incredibly bad RNG, he should have survived on 1 health point. Relentless, he finally relented. Very good, very good. That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. All right, so we're taking the Vindicator. And multiple LRM-10s, which I don't really need at the moment. SRM-4s, which I don't really need at the moment. Yeah, we'll just grab the Phoenix Hawk. We'll grab the Phoenix Hawk and we'll roll on the rest. See what we get. Alright, so we got all the mech components. We got 1 of the LRM-10s, small laser, and we got 2 SRM-4s and AC-2 ammo. So that's... recovery isn't bad, but that pilot's going to hurt, because the way this mod changes the way you earn XP for pilots, getting a pilot even up to his skill, and he was by no means a skilled pilot. He was still one of my learners. But getting a pilot up to even his skill level is very, very slow. Mech Warrior casualty. Relentless has died. Yep, so let's visit the memorial wall. This is the 2nd Mech Warrior we have lost. So we lost Hulk, and we lost Relentless. $33 deployments, 7 injuries taken, 35 mech kills, 7 other kills, 0 ejections. Killed while trying to jump on an enemy Goblin LRM. Not exactly accurate, but close enough. And yeah, it was an urban mech that took out Hulk. Because of course it was.
Have you tried hitting it with something? Ugh, I'm on my way.
I do like that audio cue that comes in there. I was seeing something weird on the screen, like a couple of wavy lines. I don't know how many people get that one, but it's actually a Ghostbusters reference. Alright, so, Mech Bay. This is not going to be pretty. This is not going to be pretty. The Wolverine won't be bad. It'll be 14-7. Yeah, that's not an issue. The Firestarter. Oof, this is going to hurt. Alright, so we're already 138,000. I haven't started bolting on the replacement parts yet. Ouch. Okay, so, ammo. MG ammo in the leg, because that's where it has to be. Equipment. We lost 2 jump jets in the torso. Weapons, MGs. We're actually... we've still got a few of them left. 140 grand. 140 grand in 6 days to put it back together, and we've now got to find ourselves a new pilot. So I can start training them.
Shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah, his ammo did blow up. Rip Relentless. Yep, that does. That's the only other thing I could think of it being. Yeah, there was an ammo cook-off. Yeah, okay. Ammo explosion wounds. Yeah, that'll explain it. I missed it, but it was the only thing that made logical sense. That's the problem with a lot of shows. Need to take off running, otherwise be canned when still trying to find its rhythm. Yeah, and a lot of people really crack the shits about it too when it goes. I mean, just look at the outcrying of people for well, they saved the Expanse, although it was 2 seasons in before it was about to get canned. But the massive fan base that built up around... Oh, I'm having a massive brain block now. Serenity. Firefly. It only got 1 season the episodes that they made were aired out of order. It was basically bungled in every way possible. They canned it and went, oh, this is just going shit. And even now, there is still a fan base around that TV show that wants somebody to re-put it back together and start it again because they liked it so much. They wound up getting a movie after they cancelled the TV show because people just wanted more of it. That could have blown up to be huge. That could have been massive. But it was completely mishandled from the word go, and it didn't get the right ratings numbers initially off the table until people actually got the episodes and could watch them in the right order and really liked the show. So it happens. But yeah, that's my opinions on Universe. I think it was a mistake to cancel it. I should have got at least a second season to give it a decent chance, but nah, that's just what they did at the time. It sucks. It was because the concept was really cool. Taken out by a trash can. Yeah, it happens. Those autocannons are nasty. Actually, I think she was lost on a mission where we wound up facing veteran pilots driving average mechs as well. I think the ammo blow up in the leg might be the only way to get 2 injuries in one go, since the ammo injury pops up before the mech falls down. If you kill the torso with an ammo detonation, you get... Yeah. The deaths are almost comical rather than heroic or brave. Well, they're just kind of instant. And as I said, BattleTech is very much a case of what will we be doing in 1,000 years with a lot greater tech? Well, probably exactly what we're doing now, just with greater tech. So yeah, not everyone dies bravely. Some people just die. The fear of every BattleTech tabletop player: ammo crit on a ton of MG ammo, 200 damage spread across the mech. Yep, yeah, that's unfortunately what happened. It's rare, but it happens. Give me a Firefly anime, please. I suppose that would be a solution. But honestly, I think revisiting the idea for the television show wouldn't be a bad option. Just have somebody in that knows how to organize the shows. Because that was the big thing with Firefly. The initial ratings were bad for the show, but the reason why the initial ratings were bad of the show is because the show was shown out of order. They got the entire season, and I think it was one of the last episodes of the season that they recorded that was the first episode that was ever aired. So nothing was actually played in order. Like, it was something like episode 6, then episode 3, then episode 5, then episode 4. Like, there was no order to the way they were originally aired on television. And because TV was the thing at the time, how the order that they were aired in was important. It's not like a streaming service now where they drop the entire season in one hit and you can just go through and watch it and watch back and sort it all out. It was aired on TV in a sequence, and they fucked up the sequence. And that caused problems. I have a feeling if it was made into an anime, it could risk becoming one of those crappy 3D animated things. My risk would be if they made an anime of Firefly, it would be one of the Netflix animes. Only one of them has ever been good, and that's Castlevania. Castlevania was actually really cool. Everything else has been a colossal failure every single time, and that's who'll end up making it. And making it on a budget at that. Alright, so the last thing to do, now we've got the mechs all sorted out, is to head and check the mech warriors that are available on this shithole of a planet. Hiring hall. Let's see who is here. We have Apex, who is a Ronin. Actually, that's not bad. 8 gunnery, that's higher than Claymore. 3 piloting, guts, 6 tactics, 3. So his piloting skill is terrible, his tactics is terrible. But 8 gunnery and 6 for 60,000, it's expensive. What's his monthly cost? 33,000 a month.
Good to go. Standing by. How's it?
Yes, Commander.
33,000 a month. There's a bulwark. and breaching shot pilot.
Secure all loose gear about the mech bay.
That's not terrible. I'd almost go with that. Deer Hunter. Nope. Not gonna bother. Dropkick. What's his bonuses? Okay, so he's ex-military. They've seen things. +1 bonus health. That's good. Mech Warrior. Harder to land melee strikes against his pilot. +1 melee defense. That's good. Athletic. This pilot suffers less fatigue after a mission. That's good. Lucky. +2 LRM clustering. Doesn't work really well with breaching shot having an LRM bonus. But it's not a terrible combination. Like you can do something with it at the very least.
Ready for
We've got
orders.
the Janissary here. Janissary, Bulwark and multi-shot, 5262, 47,000 and 26,000 a month salary. For that monthly salary, I'd go for Apex first. Ex-military, commoner, experience herding cats, +1 resolved. For a gunnery 5, that gets me close back to what I had when with Relentless, so that's...
Yes, Commander.
Drop kick.
Hey there.
Sculpin, no
Yes, Commander.
bonuses. Tango, honest, +1 morale. That's nice. 15,000 a month for +1 morale. It's almost tempting to pick her up just for that. She's not that expensive.
Orders.
Start training her up as an option.
Waiting for orders.
They will. Let's do
Deer
this.
Hunter, and no bonuses on Deer Hunter.
Yes, Commander.
Alright, we're hiring Apex. I'll
New
spend
mech
60,000
warriors
on that.
available.
And
Standing
you know what?
by.
We're going to hire Tango just because 27,000 and 15,000 a month is actually relatively cheap for a +1 morale bonus. So just on her own, sitting in the hangar, learning on the simulators,
New mech warriors available.
is actually probably worth the cost of entry there. So for a backwater planet without a lot of bonuses going for it, that actually wasn't a bad lineup of mech warriors, all things considered. I'll take it. Alright, so navigation open. We are going to select the next planet we're going to, and then I'm going to bring the stream to a close once we're on our way and see what the next worlds bring to us. So we'll go for a skull and a half again. Alright. Undra. Alien vegetation, dominant fungus, low gravity planet, lunar world, poor, primitive civilization, token population, and uninhabited. It's not super appealing. System owner, the Capellan Confederation. It's only 9 days to get to we. Capellans are obviously active there, Davian's active there, Marek's active there, and Chesterton Reserves. Defenders of the Chesterton Commonality until its capture by the Federated Suns. The Chesterton Reserves were primarily assigned to bolster the Davian border along with the Tikhonov Commonality, and was almost completely destroyed in the Fourth Succession War. Well, they're still kicking along now, and the Fourth Succession War is still going, so I guess this is the part that was not. This would be the bit that implies the almost. It's 21 days. 21 days and 60,000 to get there. Lasher gets us to 25, and it's a water planet. Pirates, Capellans, and it's a Capellan Confederation world as well. We are getting down near where we want to go, though. These both have black markets. 19 days, 25 days. 19 days, 120,000. Medium population, it's an ice world. Okay, this might be an interesting one. I don't think there'll be a lot of missions here for us because it is a Capellan world, but we can be doing some missions for Davian against the Capellans and against the pirates at close range. That might not be a bad option. It's only 19 days to get there at 120,000 to go. So, I think that'll be the play. At the very least, we can check out the black market while we're there.
Calculating course now,
Course
Commander.
set and underway.
All hands prepare for transition to thrust gravity.
Hey boss, we've just completed those upgrades.
They did something with Witcher anime movie. I have not seen a Witcher anime movie, and I'm not sure I would like to. Work on the upgrade. Mech Bay 2 is complete. And there's the financials. 400,000 operating expenses, which brings us down to 1.5 million. Look how good Arcane is. Plus, I prefer they do something in the galaxy of Firefly. You know, I'll be honest, I haven't actually seen Arcane. I probably should watch it at some point. I have heard good things, but I haven't actually seen it at all. So I don't have any reference for it. Oh, that's not a good-looking image. Power surge in the mech bay. While you're expecting the Shadowhawk, an intense power surge ripples through the cavernous mech bay. From the top of the gantry ladder above, Yang hollers at his mech techs as repair tools spark wildly, cables and lifts spasm, and the barrel of something oily-looking inexplicably combusts. Scanning for a way to help you find a master control panel, a massive emergency shutoff breaker beckons, as well as numerous individual power switches. Something labelled automated safety system blinks fitfully. Argo mech bay automation. Prod the safety system into action. Yep, we've got it, so let's use it. With a bang of your balled-up fists on the control panel, the blinking light strobes urgently, then settles into a solid, reassuring glow. Immediately, numerous safety systems spring into action. Between the automated systems and the coordinated efforts of Yang's mech techs, the threatening disaster is averted. With a widening grin on his face, Yang calls down to you. That's how we handle things here, boss. If only the term automated would mean always on, I'd be a lot happier. He thinks for a moment. You know, there are more improvements to automation in the Argo we could pursue if we had the C-bills. No lasting consequences. Good, no negatives for once. No positives either, but considering this is one that's designed to generate a negative, I'll take no lasting consequences.
Job's done, Commander.
And that's all the mechs fixed up. 12 days to render. 24 days to financial report. So we're going to have 12 days once we arrive to actually earn the money that we need to earn to get us back over 2 million, or at least earn the next 400,000 before the next payday. I mean, it could be even worse and be a Crunchyroll anime. Well, this is true, but being sort of an American IP, I'd expect it to be something that would be scooped up by Netflix. Pray they don't touch Firefly if they'll make it woke. Yeah, that's a fair point as well. Oh, although I have noticed recently there does seem to be a little bit more focus on trying to write decent stories. I think some companies are starting to work out that you can only take losses for so long, and when people sit down to actually watch entertainment, they would rather watch entertainment that's entertaining rather than having a sermon delivered to them. I think they're kind of putting two and two together, so hopefully that's correct.
Waypoint reached, Commander.
I think something like that could be cool. There is stuff that they could do with it, and I would like to see them do something with the universe. Like, it is an interesting universe, and I'd rather it not sit there, but we'll see. I'd also like to see them do something with Stargate again as well. It's been a while. I miss seeing the gate operating. Although I'm not sure where they can really go now. SG-1 was a really good show, and it covered basically all the real bases. And then for an expansion, Atlantis did a really good job as well. So, and I'd rather not see a remake. In fact, I don't think you could ever get the team or the kind of like the interaction and the what's the term for it? The effect that the characters at SG-1 had. I don't think you could replicate that again. That worked because all those guys genuinely liked one another and could play off one another really well. That's what made that show work. I don't think you could do it twice. Alright, so, partial mech salvage, catapult. We've got partial mech salvages for fire starters, griffins. We don't have money for any of this. Highlanders are here. Phoenix Hawks and Thunderbolts. As always, a single part of the mech is worth more than what you can sell the mech for, so you don't do this unless you've got lots of money. Weapons. God, AC-10s, AC-10 plus, AC-20 plus. I gotta give it to it. This world is pretty well stocked. Narc ammo. Heat sinks. No double heat sinks though, which isn't surprising. No complete mechs here, although we do have the black market access. So black market access. We have the Banshees. God, they're asking a lot for this. 136 million. Although, to be fair, that's not part. That's a complete Cyclops. And it's a 10Z as well. So, okay. Wish I could sell them for that much. Complete Locust for 21 million. Yeah, I think I'm getting ripped off on the prices here a little bit. Quick Draw. Complete Battle Mech for 76 million. Stalker. Complete Battle Mech. If we only had 114 million floating around, we could buy a Stalker. And complete Zeus. Yeah, I think the pirates not liking me all that much might be negatively affecting the prices on here somewhat. But at least we've got access to the black market, so that's at least a thing. Alright, so there's not much else we can do there. We're down to 1,434,000 credits. Last thing to do before we sign off the stream is actually see exactly what contracts are available here and see if this was a terrible mistake. So, corporate secrets. We have a polar recovery mission for the Federated Suns. 247,000 for a skull and a half with a 418 max salvage. That's actually, that's not terrible. That's not terrible. High Noon. You know what? That's a mission I might actually do for the Capellans, because that's one that's really hard to screw me over on. It's a duo duel. They're pirates. No additional information. And it's not the X, so we don't have to worry about the X. Capellans want a... Capellans against pirates. That might almost be worth doing for the money as well, although that's the kind of mission that could generally get us screwed over. And mopping up. We have a battle polar region at night versus a pirate lance for the... Okay, so these aren't bad. We can do all of these. There's 4 missions here. We can pull a couple of million out of this place fairly easily, assuming we're careful. And, yeah, we'll be able to make a bit of a profit out of this one. So this wasn't a mistake. And this is going to be able to jump us down towards St. Ives a little bit further. But for at this point, we're going to bring this one to a close. So I'll just go through the rest of chat. We got same release order issues seen with many indie shows. B5, Space Above and Beyond. Yeah, Space and Above and Beyond was... I liked the show, but again, exactly the same issue. Release order out. That was...
If anyone wants coffee, I've got a
that was a pretty good show for late 90s. I liked the design of the Hammerhead spacecraft in that one. They actually took into account that this is something, okay, it's designed like an aircraft in space, but it flies in atmosphere, so that makes sense. But when it goes into space, how does it maneuver? And it's got like ball joint thrusters on all of the positions on the extremities of the aircraft in order to allow it to actually maneuver and thrust and do its thing in space. They actually thought about that a lot and made a fairly convincing spacecraft. But again, it's a series that almost nobody knows about. Well, there's very few people know about it. Seems like studio execs don't like indies. No, it's just there are some people that don't know how to handle a science fiction show. Babylon 5 was alright, but at least in Australia, Babylon 5 was aired in order. I actually think I still have a VHS tape where I recorded the original TV airing of Babylon 5, the first pilot episode. I think I've still got the VHS for it floating around somewhere. Yeah, I was bummed out when I heard that Altered Carbon was being turned into an anime. I've only caught one episode of that, but I've heard that's good as well. Apex, that's a backer, I think. Yeah, all the Ronins are backer-created characters. So that's whenever you see Ronin pop up as an icon next to them, they're people who bought in during the backing phase, before even the pre-orders were a thing. The early backing phase, one of the tiers allowed you to create your own mech warrior in the universe, and they would show up within the game, and they would be marked as a Ronin. So that character, and you by create I mean you described what the character looked like, and they would use the engine to create the character, and you could write the complete backstory and the bonuses and skills that the character would have. So you would create the entire like creating your own BattleTech stat card if you were playing the tabletop, send it through to them, and then they recreated that within the game. And so that's what all the Ronins are. They are backers. Witcher anime movie is the same studio artwork as the Castlevania crew, by the way, Mags. Okay, well, I might have a look at it then. I did like Castlevania, I will say that much. I thought that worked really well. The art style was reasonably good. I didn't have any complaints about it. I thought it looked okay. But the actual storyline and the character acting was actually kind of good in it as well. So it was, in general, it was a pretty good show. So if it's the same crew, I might give it a look. I lost a little bit of interest in Witcher stuff on TV after was one of the episodes for the Witcher TV series. I can't. It's the one that one of the main really popular Witcher stories. Shit, I can't remember the name of it now. The one with the genie, where he finds the genie, and they screwed the story. The original story is actually really good, and they screwed the story. And that's what we call percussive maintenance, Mags. Yes. 12 days, that's 3 missions, maybe 4 if you push it. Yeah, I think I can probably switch that out, especially with the duo duel as well, because I can send 2 in, clear that mission, and then switch out 2 pilots, keep 2 in order, and rotate through another mission. So yeah, at least 2, maybe 3. I just finished The Expanse. Wish it hadn't been cancelled. Well, it wasn't cancelled technically. The original cancellation of The Expanse, a questionable question, was when it was on Sci-Fi Channel, and it was actually rescued by Amazon. And they did actually complete it. The last season was a little compressed. I didn't think it was terrible, but they were trying to tell a lot of story out of the books. I've got all the books for The Expanse as well. And I wish they'd gotten 2 seasons in there for that, but they only got the booking for what they got. They actually got to the part of the storyline that the original director for The Expanse wanted to get to. Because the problem that they've got now, if you know the books, and without spoiling it, just in case anybody here hasn't read the books yet, you absolutely should. The Expanse books are absolutely fantastic and totally worth your time. Probably some of the best hard sci-fi that's been written in decades. So absolutely check out these books. But if you know the books, the section they just got up to in the TV show where they've ended the final quote unquote season, they haven't said that they're not going to do something else yet. It's just the TV series is ending. There's actually a time jump that happens now in the books. The next book after the period that they're up to, there's a couple of things they glossed over, but the next book at the period they're up to is about 50 years in the future. Now, most of the characters that are in the show are still alive. Some aren't. I'm not going to say who. That's spoiler, but, time happens. But at, medical technology in the future, much better. People have much longer lifespan. Most of the main characters are still alive. But there's a 50-year time jump, or roughly a 50-year time jump that occurs before the next phase of the story starts. That's a real problem for TV, but it also allows them an opportunity to have a break with the show and work out whether or not or what they're going to do in order to be able to move on to the next section of the books. But also that particular area just before the time jump works really nicely as an area just to end the story for the TV series, because most of the threads up until that point have now been wrapped up. Everything starts up again in the next book, which is further in the future. So my issue with cancelling stories early, when it comes to things that have been around that have actually had enough seasons to build up their story, is generally there are always threads that are loose they never manage to finish. At the very least, assuming nothing else happens with The Expanse, the threads were all tied off towards the end. Everybody's split out into the universe. They're all doing their own thing. The war was won. It was all complete. The short-term plot threads were all tied up and finished. So it is still a nice little package. There is enough openness that they can come back to it, though. And I hope they do. I really hope they do. It's... The only complaint that I've got is they had to push almost 2 books worth of content into that last season, which is sort of the same problem that Game of Thrones had back in the day. But, Game of Thrones' problem was they ran out of book content, but they were trying to push a lot in there as well. But unlike Game of Thrones, the guys who directed The Expanse actually sort of had some idea how to try and make the pacing work. It got a bit rough in a couple of areas, but for the most part they did a good job. I didn't have much to complain about, other than that I would have liked one more season and spread that one season over 2, but yeah. Chemistry, yes, thank you Somerset Housecull. Yes, that's exactly the word I was trying to think of. It's now 3:47 in the morning, so the brain's not working particularly well, but yes, you couldn't recreate the chemistry from SG1 again. That was just perfect. It was absolutely perfect. The chemistry in Atlantis wasn't all that bad either, but the SG1 team's chemistry was just fantastic. If they ever tried to remake SG1, they'd fuck it up. Even forget about, wokeness or bad writing or any of those factors in there. Just trying to get 4 actors that have that chemistry off the word go, they wouldn't be able to pull that off, and that's why SG1 works so well. You didn't really tune in for the story of the week or the monster of the week. You tuned in to see the guys from SG1 doing their thing. What's O'Neill going to do this time? What's Tilt going to do this time? What's Carter going to do this time? You tuned in for that. And everything else was just... Some of the episodes in there, the events of SG1 and the Stargate program were nothing more than a backdrop to get those 4 people to do something, and it was great. And The Expanse got cancelled, and I thought it was the final season. It depends on how you're looking at it, Happy Wombat. There's more of the story in the books to go that hasn't been covered, but it did get to its final season that it was booked for without cancellation on Amazon. So it's kind of both. The story is not yet ended. If you want to find out what happens after, I recommend you read all the books through from scratch, because as I said, they did rush through a couple of things in there, and there are a couple of things that are much better explained in the books and make much more sense in context in the show once you've read the books. And then there's a couple of books after that. Like, the Expanse series is still being written. It hasn't been completed yet. Amazon was the only one willing to give an extra 3 seasons. However, I think the current books in the series amount to 8 or 9. Yeah, and a bunch of short stories as well. Again, when I was talking about Audible earlier on for getting stuff for BattleTech, if you want an audiobook version of it, they've got all the Expanse books on there as well. So, I have a lot of stuff on there. Bloody YouTube didn't tell me you were streaming? Okay, so somebody didn't get a notification. Well, that's a shame. Well, you're near the end of the stream, so at the very least, you're going to have like a 3.5 hour VOD that you'll be able to sit back and watch. And this has been a pretty good stream. Everything's worked out pretty well. We had some pretty good missions. There's been some pretty good talk. First season of Altered Carbon was great. Don't bother with season 2. I think the only episodes I've seen were the first couple of season 1. So surprisingly, I don't watch a lot of TV. I do have specific things here and there that I enjoy watching, and I will track them down to watch them. But otherwise, I don't binge watch a lot of TV. Duo Duel, that doesn't make sense. Duel as in a... Yeah, no, you're right. It doesn't kind of make sense. It's a 2 versus 2 battle. 2 versus 2 in a confined arena battle. That's what they are. You get single duels, duo duels. I'm expecting when the clan invasions come in, you'll have triples, and that'll be trinary battles. I expect that something like that'll pop up, because that'll be something that the clans will do. But that entire system, the duel system, as best as I can tell, is a mission structure that was put into place in BattleTech specifically because the clan invasion is a thing in this mod. The duel system, or the duel missions, are a mod thing. And yeah, this is specifically a thing in this mod, because when the clan invasions happen, they have honor duels. And they do have single and multi-mech honor duels. And I'm pretty sure that's all they were included for. Okay, I hate this planet already. Too many asteroids hanging around. Yep. Yeah, that's fair. Game of Thrones didn't have any excuse. The makers of the Rome TV series had to cram 4 to 5 seasons, 20 years of history into 10 episodes when HBO decided to cut their funding short. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Game of Thrones didn't. They had a near unlimited budget. They had a series of books that gave them most of the core of what they needed in order to be able to do the story. When the books ran out, they still had direct access to the author, who knew all the plot points that he wanted to. They had a fantastic cast of actors, and they had enough fame that they could have picked and chosen just about anybody they wanted to have on their writing staff to actually work out how to make the plot points that the author wanted work and function correctly. And they managed to fuck it up. It's Game of Thrones' final season in particular is a perfect example of how you can have access to every resource you need and still fail. I think that per episode Rome is the most expensive TV series ever made. You know what? I have never sat back and watched it. I always intend to. I love stories of ancient Rome. I have never watched the TV series. I need to probably do that at some point. That and Vikings. I need to watch Vikings as well. That's another one I haven't seen. I agree, Matthew. Then again, I'm an archaeologist and a history nerd. I wish they were given the opportunity to do it properly. That series had so much potential. Imagine they could have included some battle scenes. Look, I've heard good things, even if it is a bit compressed, so I will eventually sit back and have a watch of it at some point. Game of Thrones creators sort of forgot that they could be good. I think part of it was that the directors for Game of Thrones at the time, as I recall, had sort of partially been selected to, or had been proposed to go on and do something related to Star Wars for Disney. And then when Game of Thrones went tits up, this is the bit that was funny, when Game of Thrones went tits up, the final season, the offer that were extended by Disney were rejected. Although in hindsight, with everything that's happened with Star Wars, maybe they also dodged a bullet with that one. Who knows? But yeah, and Rome was really good. Rome was amazing. Yeah, I'll put that onto my short list of things the next time I actually have some time to sit in front of a TV and watch some. Because, yeah, I have heard good things. It's just, as I said, a series that I have never had a chance to watch. All right, so 3 hours and 36 minutes. We have had a bit of a chat. We've had some good times. We have got ourselves to a new planet. There are too many asteroids around it, yes, and rings for a planet that's actually got life-bearing, although, yeah, maybe. There is some decent missions here at least. And that's really bad time to have the announcement actually pop through then. So, there is some decent missions here as well. Not too many of them, but some decent ones in terms of pay. So we'll slam through these in the next stream and then jump our rest of our way down. I think we've still got a little bit of time left before the rebellion at St. Ives should be starting up. But I do want to be in the area because I'm expecting that there will be at least one flashpoint that's going to spawn around there, and I would like to do that one. I was hoping to get some of the flashpoints for the Fourth Succession War, but we just never got the tonnage that I was going to need for it. So,
All mech warriors to the habitation ring for a mandatory hygiene check. Repeat, all mech warriors to the habitation ring.
thank you for the announcement again. All right, ladies and gents, I'm going to bring this one to a close here. I hope you enjoyed the stream, and thank you very much for watching. Thank you, everybody, for asking questions. I'm looking forward to the next one. I promise there will be coming a little bit sooner. As I said, sorry for the lack of videos this week so far, but Cold Waters has already been recorded. It's sitting in the editor. It's going to be released a little bit late, but I'm hoping it should be out by tomorrow. I've got a live battle for War Thunder that's already recorded. I've got another Cold Waters for next week already recorded. I've got a few things. It's been very busy on this end, and we're on school holidays now as well. So I will do my best to try and make up the lack of content, and we'll probably have another stream on the weekend as well too. So, anyways, guys, take care, and I'll catch you next time.